Yeah, I'm trying to think. Um, doesn't
Oh
Genshin
yeah, it would
Impact
be
have a
good to
Breath
get
of the Wild
Momo in.
moment?
It has several. A lot of people call it like a Breath of the Wild XP, actually.
That doesn't
That
shock
what?
me. Oh, Genshin has a Breath of the Wild moment.
Several. Well, not that I've played Breath of the Wild. Hello,
Yeah.
internet. I
Oh,
see
there we
we are
go.
live
Yeah,
now.
finally.
Hello.
Yeah, I was
Wait, we're-
waiting for it to
Oh, damn.
start on YouTube. I was like, hello. And I got 3 people on. So sorry, real quick about the Frontiers though. Flower, you said so you finished the main
I
game.
beat the main.
Okay, cool.
I beat the main. I did it. I did the boss again on hard mode and found out the only real difference is like a different
Yes.
song in the credits, and a ridiculously hard bullet hell while the end gives
yeah.
you a pretentious peach.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my least favorite part about it. Once you get it down to low health, it just goes on this monologue and never stops. Oh my god.
Yeah. We'll see if you if you finish before me because I'm trying so hard to do it on hard mode. So.
I'm not doing that to myself.
I'm
having a hard time that I'm on easy.
Yeah, I have yeah. Yeah, we're doing the deal. Are you doing everything on easy mode for the DLC or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I am not committed.
After your the end for the main game.
It wasn't.
I don't blame you.
It's
There's
nothing
there's
compared
a way
to.
to do hard. There's just a huge difficulty spike, and I'm not. I was just not prepared. I mean, I knew it would be hard. I didn't expect it to be hard in the way that it was. Just like, oh yeah, it's just complex. It's just so much more complex. Even the standard just platform running around in the overworld, it's like, oh yeah, it's full of those grind rings that are normally like reserved for the hat cocoa on like the main game. No. It's just casual. Oh, you want like the damage boost, don't you? You ready to jump through the rings of fire to get it?
God. Yeah.
Sorry,
I can't wait
I played like less than an hour and I'm already ready to rant. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
All right, so
right.
guys,
Yes.
I'm gonna save us the trouble. The next 4 episodes are all D's. All right, let's roll on to season 2 now.
No.
I agree with him. He's right.
See, Wazy agrees with me, so I'm obviously right.
Exactly. I'd high five you right now, but like we're continents apart. So...
I think you mean oceans apart, Wazy.
Yeah,
Also
you're right. Oh.
I mean, hemispheres would also be accurate. A moon's distance away would be accurate.
I don't know
This
about
is
a
true.
moon's distance. The moon's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
far from the Earth.
All right.
What? No, the moon. What? The moon's not that. The moon's not that big.
Oh hey Colton.
Oh,
I forgot to ping you. I forgot
sorry.
that
I
you.
thought you
Colton.
meant the distance between
Not a
me
moon's
and Waze was-
orbit, Flower. Gosh, will you take me for someone who measures distance in light seconds?
All right. So.
Wait.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna start now. So we're talking about mainly 2 episodes. I don't think we're gonna get any farther, but I also don't think this is gonna take the whole stream. I honestly just don't. I watched France Hopper last night, and then I watched Contact today. There's no way in hell that this is gonna be as long as our Chips Are Down Marabutto stream. I'm gonna be surprised if it becomes that long. I feel like we're gonna have an early end to this stream. But
I thought you were gonna say you'd be pissed off.
No, I don't know why I'm pissed off. But I do have to say that I watched, after watching Contact, I will be very damned if we talk about Contact for any longer than 10 minutes. All right, so Let's go.
It'll happen, I promise.
I
I
feel
know.
like we're gonna talk about.
There's
Contact
really,
for
man,
10 minutes.
Contact is so. It's not even mid.
There is a
Worse
lot
than
to
mid.
say about Contact.
There's a
don't-
lot to say about Contact.
I don't see
Yeah.
how there is a lot to talk about with
All
Contact.
right, whatever. Let's start. Franz
All right.
Franz Hopper.
Hopper.
Oh man,
I got you.
This one's a doozy.
A doozy? It's a good doozy.
Yeah. Because like I'm looking at the comment sections of the episode
Oh,
on the
yeah.
YouTube channel, and it's like there's a whole
Oh,
like
yeah.
debate under there.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure it's all has to
All right,
do
what are
with.
we starting with about this episode?
Well, I would say I'll give it an S because the fact that Xana gave Yumi cancer. But
Damn.
Damn, you're right.
Wow.
okay, I'm obviously kidding. I meant to say pick on Yumi. Maybe I should have said that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah.
All right.
Cell generation,
I'm
degeneration.
good into dark. I'm good for
Yeah,
dark humor, but
yeah,
that was
yeah.
a
Dark
bit
humor. Yeah. Obviously, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
If you know about the
Gonna
the pick
clip
on
that
Yumi, yeah.
and
Fuck's sakes.
forever.
Yeah. Oh damn it!
All
That's
right.
not a good clip.
All right.
Yeah.
Man.
I can start. I
Yeah,
guess
go
I'll
ahead.
start.
Go ahead.
All right. This episode is an S, and it has nothing to do with the pure memes of picking on you.
Aw.
The whole premise of the episode is very intriguing, and it's a very good premise of what if this whole time Jeremy has gotten them in danger, sort of thing. Then there's the Xana manipulating the warriors to his own end. But then in Xana's hubris, much like a lot of his defeat, he gives up the ghost. He ruins his act. He was so close to succeeding, but then he makes the mistake of admitting something only Xana would know and Franz Hopper could not know.
Yeah.
And then we get this is one of the first episodes where we really get a piece of Jeremy's family life and his father. We get this lovely little story on like the interaction with the Warriors, and it's obviously Jeremy's birthday. I think all the elements kind of just work together to bring a lot of intrigue, even though there's definitely some genuine debate to be had on how much the Warriors might have overreacted to the lie that Xana manipulate them, which is honestly a pretty valid reaction, and I wouldn't say they overreact too much, like maybe just a little bit, but like you got to think about your friend gets you into this like really cool breakfast cereal, and you and your 3 friends eat it every day, and then all of a sudden you learn from some other guy that the breakfast cereal might give you a horrible disease that's going to kill you. You're going to be really angry, and you're going to shift that blame off onto something, and in this case you're going to shift it onto the person who, despite obviously not knowing the cereal was dangerous, got you into it. So you're going to be angry at them. So, like, they're not unjustified or overreacting by a wide margin. They're pretty within the reason of how an individual would react emotionally to this realization. So, yeah, it's like S. There's some small minor issues, but like Code Lyoko is a lot of small minor issues on top of a brilliant story.
All right.
What are you talking about? Code Lyoko was perfect.
Whoa. Did not expect that.
Look lazy. We
Damn.
all know it's not because Peter Duncan isn't in every episode.
Oh wait, you're right. Never
Why is it
mind.
S?
This show is
Okay. Well. Man, I don't know when I should
actually.
go.
Let's see here.
Kind of zoned off while Dylan was talking.
Well, good job,
I mean-
Colton.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks.
I did think I did feel like the beginning was a bit rushed though, which I know they're trying to fit their 23-minute limit, but watching it last night, I was like, oh man, this is kind of going a little too fast here. It's just I think it's kind of funny. Literally,
Maybe you're too slow.
I think the second scene it starts with France Hopper in the chair, and they're all like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "Dang, just like
there
that."
you are.
I know, yeah. He's like, "Who are?" And he's just like, "Who are you?" And he's just like, "What do you mean?" Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude! There you are. That should be the new hello there from.
Oh, yeah.
You know when? Yeah.
Oh, there you are. All right, J man, you got the floor.
Oh boy. Okay. I see this episode as a case study of what the fear of death can actually do to not just like kids, but like people in general. Because before this episode, yeah, the group would have conflicts with each other here and there for the most part, but they had each other's trust at the very least of every single conflict and drama that the group went through in all the previous episodes. For the most part, they had each other's trust for the most part.
Did they?
So it's really interesting to see all of that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, well, it's really
There are
interesting.
times.
You're right.
Keep
I was gonna
going.
say, like, it's really
But-
interesting to see all of that being thrown out of the window once Yumi discovers that she has a sort of like, let's say, medical issue in her brain. So it's like the whole cafeteria scene, man. It's like I would consider that incredibly like uncomfortable to watch through because Jeremy never meant. He would never mean to like harm any of them like intentionally. If he knew the dangers of what would happen if they would go inside of the scanners and go to Lyoko and such, he would have never sent any of them there. And I feel like, here's the thing, I feel like Yumi, Ulrich, and Odd, I feel like deep down they know that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that, of course, like Yumi and stuff, like now she has that medical issue, and it's just a really interesting case study. And I've seen a lot of people, like, especially in the comment section, like, shit on the other LWs for how they're treating Jeremy, and I can understand that to a certain extent. But again, it just goes back to what I said about this being like a really interesting case study of what the fear of death can do to people, especially children this young. Because the age range of all these Lyoko warriors, it's like what, 12 to 14? That's the age range of all of them. Like the youngest one is probably like 12, and the oldest is 14. So it's like that's Yumi, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
this
Jeremy
is
the
just
youngest at 12.
uh-huh. So yeah. And when it comes to France Hopper in this episode, like I kept trying to ask myself, do they have a reason to believe that, at least in the beginning of this, that he actually is who he is? Should they have blindly trusted this person that's claimed to be France Hopper in the beginning of the episode? And it's like, I guess he made like a decent case to try and fool the others in the beginning because I guess he deactivated those towers on his own in the beginning because clearly if he's able to do something like that, that would at least like imply that he's familiar with the equipment, he's familiar with the technology. So I guess I can kind of see why they trusted him in the beginning. But overall, I just felt like this was a really, really good episode when it comes to, let's say, testing like the true, like, let's say, trust of not just Jeremy, but just like the whole friend group in general. And again, the fear of death. But as for everything else, I honestly I really, really did enjoy this episode because like I thought the Lyoko scenes again were really fun with the sort of like upgraded equipment the Warriors had in the Sector 5 and stuff. Like that was really fun. Though it wasn't really clear. Hopefully this isn't just me, but it wasn't really clear first to me like what new power Yumi got. Like I had like, was it better accuracy? Was it heightened sense? Like I just couldn't figure out what her new power was at first. But everything else, man, like I really wish that Jeremy like in some way tried to like pick back up what
Her new power is not dying instantly.
I was gonna point out there's a scene where she's just kind of looking at her nails and casually deflecting all the shots with her fans. So it's possible it just heightened her ability to use her fans, like sort of like an auto lock. Like like an auto defend and like an auto target. Like odds
Yeah.
especially also seemed auto target because he could just shoot it up in the air and then it would still hit the creeper.
The funny part is, Odd actually did that in a previous episode. I think it was the one where Ulrich lost
Yep.
his memory. Yeah, so it was
Amnesia.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, all of that was really fun, and the whole like the energy wave blade that Ulrich did. Like, I really wish stuff like that came back in future episodes. Like, I'm surprised Jeremy didn't experiment with like upgrading the abilities of like the heroes and such. But as for everything else, again, like I thought the whole Sector 5 sort of Lyoko scenes, I thought all of them were really fun, especially when like all of their weapons disappeared and they had to fight hand to hand. I loved the scene with Odd, like when he was fighting like bare knuckled that creeper. That was really fun. And again, I really wish like, yeah, it really like diversified the stuff that we were used to seeing on Lyoko scenes, and I think that was really cool. And I think what really made this episode probably S tier for me is that this episode had a Code Lyoko moment, and I feel like Wazy knows exactly what I'm talking about here.
Yes. Yes, I know
It
exactly what you're talking about.
It has a defining Code Lyoko moment, like, and it's so stupid, but it's so awesome at the same time, man. It's like, oh man, I loved it. And it was the scene where after it was revealed that Jeremy tricked the Xanafied Hopper thinking that he brought the relay leader to Sector 5, but instead it was a decoy. He just laughed it off, and like and then Xana's like ghost like dissipated into the air, and like in the music too. It's like, I love that scene, man.
I love
At
that.
this rate, I post that clip at least once a year.
Yeah, more than that.
Yep. But overall, like, I can understand, because if there's one thing I will criticize the group for, because again, you can look at this at completely different sides, because I'm looking at the comment sections right now and people are putting cases for both sides, but mostly going on the negatives towards Ulrich and the rest of them. I really wish at the end the Lyoko Warriors, after finding out that Jeremy again didn't do any of this and that he was actually innocent, I actually really wish that they apologized to him towards the end, because like stuff like this, like abandoning him and stuff like that, and like in the fact that Jeremy was contemplating of moving to a new school and stuff, I really feel as if they should have apologized in the end, because stuff like that I know Jeremy's not the type to like give out the cold children stuff, but stuff like that shouldn't be tolerated. It's like after everything like Jeremy has done or been through to, like, let's say be a part of their friends, help them on Lyoko and stuff, it's like you would think that after all this time of their friendship being a thing, you would think that they would like respect Jeremy more, like at this point, and I really wish they did apologize. But overall, I thought this was a really good episode, and I also did like the birthday scene that they did in the beginning for Jeremy, like, you know, with the drawn picture and stuff. That was really wholesome.
Yeah.
So I did like this episode. I think it's like a high A tier for me currently.
I thought you literally just said S. I was thrown off.
I said maybe. I said maybe.
Okay. That's fine.
You might have to ask me again later.
Yeah, I'll ask you again. No, I was actually shocked when I heard S. But anyways.
Yeah. So this was a really good episode, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Flower. What you got?
Oh, I'm up. Yeah. This episode is like, in a lot of ways, I think this is like Xana's Kiss, but just way better. Like, yeah, in Xana's Kiss, we see that Xana's starting to like really get good at getting under the warrior's skin. But unlike in Xana's Kiss, where they were just fighting over something petty, he gets them to fight over something that is not so petty. And in fact, some of the fighting is coming from a place where there is a grain of truth, but I'll get to that. Like, and just Xana manipulates the warrior so effectively here. It's kind of wild that he didn't win, honestly. Like, you start off this episode with like, yeah, Xana just activated 5 towers, which he has never done before. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna take them all out, but like, you guys struggle to take out 1 tower. He just activated 5.
That makes you want to ask more questions. I'm like,
technically probably activated 6, because there's a tower that no one knew about, and then there's the 5 that they did know about.
Isn't it? I'm sorry,
I
but
do have a theory.
isn't there really only one? He was just doing that to like for show.
It's unclear if he actually just activated 5 towers and did
Yeah.
nothing with it. If he
I
also just spoofed because he knows how to spoof the super scan sometimes. So maybe he tricked it into thinking he activated more towers than he actually did. Like he just lied to it.
Yeah, because I feel like that, and then like the whole like Yumi probably would never really had a cell degeneration or anything like that. It was all for I feel like it was kind of like all for show, and at the same time he kind of made France look like a god.
Yeah,
doing all that.
I think.
What were we gonna say, Wade?
I mean, he is God,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I think that the towers were real, honestly, because I mean, he doesn't really lose anything by activating all 5 of those towers at once, and like it gets their attention.
Yeah.
So I think it's real.
Well, that's why I also thought it was just. I mean, I'm not saying it's fake. They probably were activated, but I just feel like it was all just part of like to really like to make it seem that everything is.
It
Like,
just seems
the
very.
situation is real.
It's implied that he can't really use more than 1 tower at a time.
No, it is.
True
So
as well.
it's possible he activated 5 and he just like couldn't do anything with them, so he just kind of did it to flex and to get their
Maybe.
attention.
I didn't think about that.
It also
Yeah.
makes his version of Franz look like a god, like Wei said, or someone said that.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh man, this is like the worst thing you've ever faced. Good thing Franz is
Exactly.
here to bail you out, huh?
He's like,
You guys
Xander just
you guys
activated 5.
deactivate- Sorry, go ahead.
I was just like, Xander just activated 5 towers, but no worries. Cracks knuckles, I got this, guys.
You guys go to Lyoko to deactivate towers?
Oh yeah.
Amateurs?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another
I
thing.
do think the real Franz could deactivate towers just from the console, but
Oh, he could.
but Xana is very clearly. I think part of this is Xana knows the LW are aware of Franz and his role in the creation of the supercomputer, but he also is aware of like their limited knowledge, and I find it very impressive. Specifically, when the Franz clone looks at Aelita and is like, "I created Aelita to like be a guardian in Lyoko. I never expected to see her in flesh and blood, even though we all know that's a bold-faced lie." That is.
Well, but
Xana has a deep understanding of like the Lyoko warriors' understanding of the situation, and that's very interesting. A very interesting writing and a very interesting introspection into Xana himself. That he's able to like, and he's even trying to like warm and buttering them up. Like, wow, it's so impressive that you got her to the real world. That's like amazing, guy.
Yeah. I really like that part about Xana. Like, that's smart of him to know what Lyoko warriors know at this point.
Yeah.
Xana's a clever bitch, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
well, most of the time.
Yep.
He locks the door but leaves the window wide open. I
Yeah.
feel like at the same time, we are getting quite a bit of insight into how Franz was as a person, because I think Xana is the best authority we have outside of Aelita. Well, Aelita doesn't really talk about her father, but also she's super biased. Granted, so is Xana, but I feel like that phrase, like Xana locks the door but leaves the window wide open, is something the real Franz would have said. That might just be
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. But and then after he's like surprised that they use the scanners, well, not really surprised, but faking surprise, he's like, oh, but they weren't ready for human use. Look, let me scan and make sure there's no damage. And then it could just be because Xana just has it out for Yumi. It could also be the strategy of, well, if I take out Yumi, that'll stress out everybody, because that'll stress out Ulrich, that'll stress out, well, actually that would probably stress out Jeremy too, because they're the most, they're all close, but I think those two are the closest to Yumi. But like, yeah, it's just, and it also makes sense if you think about how Yumi seems to take the devirtualizations a lot rougher than everyone else. Like, yeah, Yumi's the one that's struggling. She's the one with cell degeneration.
I mean, yeah, Yumi's usually like almost knocked out whenever she devirtualizes. But we have seen like a good couple times Ulrich is like kind of he comes out gasping for air. So
it depends on how they get devirtualized, but Yumi's reuse of like the scene they reuse for Yumi devirtualizing is her literally crumpled on the ground while she feebly
Punching
slams her fist on the ground.
Yeah.
The rest of them just kind of clutch the sides, like gasping. So, nah, I think it makes a lot of sense that he specifically targeted Yumi. He could have been like, yeah, literally, you're all dying, but I don't know. I think he just really wanted to pick on Yumi. But I think the vibe would be different if they were all literally dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, then we get a arguably a more believable like fight than in Xana's Kiss, where in Xana's Kiss it was just like very petty, like I can't believe you kissed the person I'm into even though we're technically not dating. How dare you? You're terrible. And it's like even though like the actions are just wildly out of character. No, this is like Jeremy didn't it's like it's played up like an accident. Like Jeremy didn't mean to like cause the scanners to like hurt them, but he did. He sent them to Lyoko. He sent Odd by accident in Xana Awakens, not knowing. Like he wasn't even sure they were safe, and he was trying to test in a dog, but then he accidentally sent Odd.
Mm-hmm.
He's not entirely without fault in this situation. Yes, it's all a lie, and yes, Xana's doing it to manipulate them to all fight him, but the anger is understandable, even if it's also there's a lot of emotion here. And I do like the scene at the lunchroom where Jeremy like talks, they like snap back at them, and then Aelita calls out Ulrich, like, if it weren't for the scanners, I wouldn't be here.
That was powerful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense that they don't know how to process this. Most people don't. Most people would struggle to process something like this. So, like, it makes sense that they're angry, even if it's not logical. And I do appreciate Aelita, like, it's not a totally unfair and unjustified like it is in like Chips Are Down, which was the other very controversial episode. I mean, granted that was also complicated, but like
controversial.
But the episode is aware that they're being hypocrites in this one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the rare moments of self-awareness, and that'll get pointed out later on. Oh no, it is like in that scene where Jeremy's like, I will find a way to cure you, and Yumi's like, I just need to be alone. Coming, Ulrich. Like, Yumi.
Exactly.
Very hypocritical.
I mean, I think we get what means, though. She only wants to be around specific individuals at that time.
She specifically doesn't want to be around him, but even at that moment, she's not like willing to outright say, I want to spend some time away from you. So she just says, I want to be alone, and then just immediately like her real feelings are, I'm mad at Jeremy, but she's also mad at the situation.
She just wanted her snuggle. She just wanted her snuggle buddy. That's all.
And you even have that scene with the Ishiyamas where they're just having a casual dinner, and then Yumi's just like super depressed for very good reasons, and she can't even tell them what's going on. And get the very funny line of, "We're in the thick of it now, a teenage crisis."
Yeah, God.
Very good.
I definitely know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it before.
Hiroki though.
I want to know. No, for real. Actually, side note, I want to know what Akiko and Takeo were like as teenagers specifically, because the way they talk about her. Oh, but now go on.
Yeah,
I
and
never answered.
I don't know. It's a good few minutes of just them sitting. Like they let that sit. They let this anger and frustration build. Oh yeah, I completely skipped over Jeremy's birthday. That scene was cute. Also, it really sucks that Jeremy had this felt with him on his birth. Maybe that's what Xana might have planned that on purpose. Just like, oh, when's Jeremy's birthday?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
this is the day I'm gonna screw him over with this.
Big
This
brain.
is my birthday present to you, Jeremy. I'm gonna make your friendship stronger by destroying it. Happy birthday, bastard!
I would not put it past Xana
Lol.
at this point to
Lol.
time it just so it's just right, just for that extra salt. You
He
get the
absolutely did.
yes. And the next day they go in and Franz Hopper's just like, okay, I think I figured out how we're gonna get that cure for Aelita's antivirus, and we gotta do one last trip to Sector 5. And everyone's like, woo, let's go. And Jeremy's like, hold up, you just said the scanners are super dangerous and not meant for human transfer. Like, what are you guys doing? And
Don't worry about it.
yeah, I kind of like that he has a point here. Actually, this argument's really good, like very good. But and I think part of it is they both sides have a point, even if Xana is like objectively manipulating the group to like turn on Jeremy. Like, he's not entirely wrong. Like, yeah, Jeremy makes a good point that like we all, okay, granted, I know continuity wise they didn't all agree to turn on the supercomputer together, but like what the spirit of what he's saying is that we all agreed to do this together is true. Like, even if the scanner like sickness was real, like Jeremy wouldn't just have the blame for that. They all willingly agreed to go into the scanners. They didn't quite fully understand the risks, but they all agreed to do it. They all had some level of idea that it was risky. And like, yeah, it's not like Jeremy forced, well, Odd was an accident, but the rest of them, but then Odd kept volunteering to go and they all kept doing this. So it's not just his fault. But Xana's take that Jeremy is basically like Sorcerer's Apprentice is just really true. Like, you're the one that kept pushing everybody to go save your girlfriend, to save your waifu, that you're the one that like played Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'm trying to find
Not
the
what to
words
say.
to clarify. Yeah,
Oh.
it's good. It's very iconic. Like, Franz, I mean, Xana has some really good points against Jeremy. Most of this is his fault. And like, if all the warriors were to die or if Xana were to get out, most of the blame would be on him.
Yeah.
He's the one pushing everybody to do
Yep.
this despite the risks. He's the one risking the entire world ending.
I mean, like, that's the key manipulation tactic, though, when you're employing it against a group of individuals, is turn them on one of their own. If you want, especially if you want to, in a sense, divide and conquer. And it just it works for Xana that the most important individual relevant to the group outside of Aelita, who he needs, so he can't manipulate them against Aelita, is Jeremy. Since Jeremy doesn't go to Lyoko, it makes him an even better target for this manipulation tactic.
No, yeah, it's very. I mean, it's a manipulation tactic, but like, I think what makes it so strong is that Xana's not entirely wrong here. Jeremy is not perfect, and I wish the show better addressed just what they were risking, but it has that problem of being character, like, protagonist point of view, and that they're kind of in the right, even though it's more questionable than that. But and then he just leaves, and Aelita calls out for him, and Jeremy just leaves. This is actually a very good Jerlita episode too. I appreciate. I don't always ship Jerlita, but Jeremy and Aelita's relationship in this episode is just really fun to watch. And then you have that very intense scene where he calls his dad and tells him to pick him up right away. And it's
Yeah,
like,
you can tell he
man.
was really fed up after that. Like, I pretty much
Lyoko!
supported him doing that.
Belpois!
Oh my god, dude! I really want to talk.
God damn.
Oh man, I'm so biding my time right now.
Do
Oh, man.
you want to like talk about that specific scene before I continue on? I have a lot more to say.
Oh no, I got plenty of more to say. You continue on
Okay.
ahead.
All
I'm
right.
biding my time.
Yeah.
He's
There's
lying in wait.
the symbolism of that picture he got for his birthday being used as like sort of like his stance with his friend group, and like it's I think he looks at it, glares, and slams it down. He's like he just can't face them anymore, and like it's a very this episode just does a very this scene does a very good job of organically showing just what Jeremy's feeling, just absolutely like burned. Granted, I do think it's an overreaction to be like, I'm willing to quit Caddick, especially because like Aelita is still there and she doesn't hate his guts. So like this is really impulsive, but it's also very telling that like his friendship means a lot to him. So like when they turned on him like that, it hurt him pretty bad, like really bad.
I never thought of that before until now. Because I get what you're saying, because obviously Jeremy didn't really have any friends before Lyoko ever happened. So I guess now that he has friends, he's like, you know what? I've been missing out. And then when he doesn't have that anymore, he's like, well, I'm depressed.
I mean,
When am I going to help them?
yeah, like that's pretty accurate. I would contend Jeremy and Ulrich are not like friends, but like they're certainly past being just acquaintances.
Workers.
If like the vibes and sort of energy in the prequel episodes do give off the sense that they aren't just acquaintances in a like, oh, we both are in the same classes sort of way. Like, they do seem to be individuals who talk on occasion and keep up with each other, but they're not, like, going out of their way to hang out.
In Xana Awakens, they call each other by last names, which is a more formal thing to do when you're not super close.
Yeah, but,
They were on friendly terms, but they weren't close.
I don't even do that.
Yeah, but Ulrich still calls Jeremy Belposs. Very intermittently, but once in a while.
Sometimes, but anyways.
I haven't heard him say that since
Rarely.
Xena Awakens. I could be wrong about that.
Xana Awakens, I believe, so.
That's like the only time I ever heard him like call him by the name Belpois. I could be
Happens
wrong.
a couple times. I don't think it's the only time.
Jim calls him Balpoa like all the time.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm not conflating the two. I know our friend Jimbo calls him.
I recall. I feel like I think it might have been one of the episodes that I just watched actually, because I do recall Ulrich calling him Belpois at points. Not a lot though. I don't know who else actually calls him by his last name. Now thinking about it. I think Ulrich's the only one I know.
There's in one
I don't think
episode, I
Ulrich.
can't remember which one, but a background character refers to Jeremy as
I meant to
Belpois.
make- yeah, I remember that.
scene. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the rec room scene. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember
But
which
I just-
episode that
yeah.
is, but season.
Yeah,
Or-
I think it's yeah. Anyways, I don't recall any other main character though calling him Belpois. I'm thinking of Odd, but when I think of him saying it, I don't think it's ever happened. I can't see him say it. But off topic, let's get back to it.
Yeah. Let's see. We have that very fun scene where Jeremy almost like quits Caddick though. I personally headcanon that Michael Belpois like understood that Jeremy wasn't like seriously like Jeremy was making a rash impulsive decision and he probably would have just taken him on a drive and had a serious talk with him about
That's so
this.
him.
I love Jeremy's father in this episode. By
he
the
is
way.
such an
I don't-
understanding guy in his 2 episodes he is in.
Like
Yeah.
he went because Jeremy had probably been vehemently like, I do not want to go. I have friends here and I don't want to lose them. And then for Jeremy to just suddenly have that emotional moment, I honestly don't think Michael Belpois was like actually planning to just take him out. Like maybe after the serious conversation and Jeremy's like, yeah, you know what, my future is more important than Caddick here, maybe. But I don't think he was ready right then and there to like just like have Jeremy just suddenly drop out of Caddick and transfer like mid-semester. That is not something you casually decide to do. So
He just wanted to make sure his kid was okay because he was
I
clearly going
really
through
think
a hard
that's all it-
time.
Yeah, honestly, that is probably all it was, and he was very happy to like see that Jeremy was like. I think he understood when Jeremy said things have changed, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, you made up with your friends." They'd probably have a talk later, but like he probably wasn't gonna have that talk in front of the hallway with his friends all waiting in his room. Anyway, and then yeah, we have the scene where Jeremy looks at the
Yes.
destroyed diaries and he has that echo moment. And I've
Mm-hmm.
for
I love that.
those who know Persona, after I watched this episode last night, I joked to one of the people here last night that the diary that you lit Xana destroyed my diary was a delicious pancakes moment. If you know, you know, because I think that's very funny. But anyway, Jeremy very is like he figures out, he's like, oh, Santa, and he just and then you have a very dramatic back and forth. You have like the warriors having fun on. Oh yeah, even before then we had the warriors having fun on Lyoko, just like trying out their new powers, and it is kind of fun to see what Xana can do if they like worked together. It's unclear if Xana just made up powers for them or if he just like leveled them up and gave them abilities they could have unlocked on their own eventually. Lyoko's power system's weird, but either way, it's kind of is very fun just having them bounce around and being like, I want more creepers. You have odds like, I want more creepers, and then Franz is like, don't worry, I have more surprises in store. And it's like, once you know, it's like so ominous. Like, oh, Xana is just having a grand old time toying with them right now.
I mean, we saw a lot of that in Ghost Channel. Like, Xana has a personality, kind of twisted and enjoys suffering.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then once Jeremy figures out the I don't know, I basically just summarizing the episode, but like I'm also like explaining
so
why I
true.
love it so much. Because it's like there's just so much good here. Jeremy figures it out. He rushes over, and you have the that's when you have the back and forth where the warriors are still having fun, but suddenly the background music changed, and now it's the Xana attack, and it's all ominous. Like, oh no, what's Xana gonna do now? He has them in their clutches. They're so vulnerable. And then suddenly they lose their powers, and they're getting attacked by creepers, and it actually hurts, which means if they die for real. And oh no!
Oh boy.
You have Jeremy rushing into the factory, and he right when Aelita's about to go in the scanner, he interrupts her just in time. Just be like, and he shushes her, and you don't know what the plan is, but very clever reveal. We get to Jeremy confronts Franz, calls him out for who he really is, and Xana's like, wow, even I'm impressed, but you're too late. Except no, he's not, because you know, his friends managed to still have fun with the creepers despite having no powers, and the Aelita was a decoy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very well paced, that, like, sort of... Like, you know Jeremy and Aelita had a chat, so, like... Aelita must have some plan, right? Or is she actually getting, like, her memory drained? But it's revealed to be a decoy. The Schizozoa gets very confused. Xana is just so livid that he doesn't even know what to do next. Jeremy just laughs at him.
Yeah. He just vanishes.
Yeah. Like,
he just
Xana,
rage quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xana had this brilliant plan.
And he comes
probably back. Like he had it probably had in his office just a calendar being like, execute Franz Hopper plan right on Jeremy's birthday, and just like I'm going, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna get friends to kick out Jeremy, and I'm gonna give them powers so they get lulled into a false sense of security, and then I'll virtualize Aelita into the Schizozoa's arms. It'll be great. And then Jeremy's just like, lol, nope, I figured you out. And he's like, no. and I think genuinely didn't know what to do next, so he just left. And then later he comes back and chokes Jeremy.
Yeah. He's like, wait, I'm pissed.
He knows the song and game at this point. He knows he's not going to succeed. He just wanted to vent out his rage. Like, how dare you? It is very chilling though. It's like Ulrich's like hovering over Jeremy's body while he's choking to death, and Ulrich's like, "You need to deactivate the tower like right now." And even Aelita's like in a rush because she's like, "I need to deactivate the tower. Jeremy's in trouble. Oh God."
Yep. No backflips.
It's the most code Lyoko scene to ever code Lyoko, honestly. But
yeah, it gives me season 1 vibes at that moment. I don't know why.
Yeah, she activates the tower. Jeremy stops choking. Ulrich's like, it's all gonna be okay now. And and then they have the aftermath in the room, and Jeremy's like, "Of course I'm not mad at you guys." And I'm like, I think you should be a little mad, but okay, sure. I'm okay with good forgiveness. Jeremy does seem to be, I don't know, sometimes he forgives too easily, and sometimes he doesn't forgive enough. But
inconsistent.
He probably just figured, you guys, we were all operating under a lie. That Franz was not real. He reassures Yubi that she does not have cell degeneration. That's not real. And Yubi's like, oh man, she had me really worried that not Franz, Xana. Michael Belfort shows up, and then you have Ulrich's other iconic line, like father, like son. And that's the end of the episode. This is just a really, I think this is a solid S. Maybe even S+. I know there's some controversy with how quickly the group turned on Jeremy, but I think it's way more believable than most of their petty fights. So like,
no, and it feels like it comes off of just initial shock. It feels like they didn't really like mean what they said at first. It's just the shock of learning what really happened at first.
Yeah,
that's how it felt for me.
I think they're middle schoolers, and this is a very tough emotional thing to deal with. Like, this is tough for adults to handle, let alone children. Yeah. So
exactly.
I think it's justified here. And they were very quick to forgive him too. So, well, very quick to like trust him again. And yeah, and even I think Jeremy's line, "Of course I'm not mad at you," kind of implies that they're like, "Hey, are you mad at us for how we treated you yesterday?" I think there was an attempted apology. We just didn't see it on screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just so in summary, this is a good episode because we got some character dynamics. We have the Warriors deal with a very intense thing for a bit. We have Xana being a real manipulative dastard in this, like more clever than he usually is. And you have some really good Jerlita moments. And the victory at the end, and the Lyoko stuff is very fun. This is just a really good episode for a number of reasons. So I'm gonna put it as S.
All right, Colton.
Oh my God, it's my turn! Holy shit!
He's so excited.
Don't worry, I was eating popcorn. I was invested, Flower.
Well, I was invested too, but I've seen Iwea deactivate towers faster than you could summarize an episode of Lyoko. Oh my gosh. You really care about this episode, so finally, here we go. I'm gonna spoil my rating right now.
Okay.
B. There's some things I like.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a dangerous comment. Yeah. There's some things I like about this episode, but there's also some things I hate this episode. Honest to God, just like a really complex episode of Lyoko, and I have no idea what they came up with this stuff. And all I know is that what we're about to go into with Xana's attack, I bet you he's been playing this for months. Like, how could he not have been? Like, he couldn't just come up with this in one day. Like, this was months of planning and thinking. Like, what else is he supposed to do? Right? So, Start of the episode. 5 towers activated all at once. This is probably the equivalent to Xana taking Viagra. Apparently,
My
I have
God.
no idea. I have no idea how he pulls this thing off. He never does it again. It's just something that happens, and you're just supposed to roll with it. So, okay, thanks. So everyone's freaking out, obviously. Like, oh, great, so great. There's probably like 5 attacks going on at once. we, I wish we could have seen that at least. That should have been like. Imagine if that was like the final episode, like Xana activating multiple towers at once,
That needs to
legitimately,
happen.
and doing that. That would have been some crazy stuff. But so eventually they go to the factory and they notice, oh, hi, I'm Franz Hopper. And they're trying to figure out, wait, Franz Hopper? Are you that guy? Yeah, I'm the guy.
I'm the guy.
Lyoko.
I'm the guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I made Lyoko. I made Xana, who escaped my control. I think he says I also made Ilea, which I
Yeah.
absolutely liked. Because we obviously don't know that we don't know what they
Yeah.
don't know at least
Yeah.
in this episode that Ilea is actually real. But I assume Xana does know that Ilea is real.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that was great storytelling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here to save the day, pretty much, and everyone's happy. Like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. Like this is like Franz Hopper just shows up all of a sudden, and everyone's happy, and like no one gives it a second thought, at least not. Kind of confusing. But anyways, Jeremy's birthday, once again, Xana, he had been planning this for months. I told you already. Jeremy's birthday, the day he pulls this off. Again, like I've said it before and I'll say it again, Xana is spying on these kids.
Yes,
and,
for sure.
Well, yeah.
Like, how much he's spying, well, I don't know how much he's spying on them,
He
but
has
like,
eyes everywhere.
Yeah, eyes and ears everywhere. But so Jeremy's like, okay, well, we're using the scanners, and Franz Hopper's like, oh, the scanners. Oh, wait a minute, they're not meant to be used by humans. Oh my God, what have you done? And so he reveals, oh my God, there's something wrong with Yumi. And I find this funny, but I also find it kind of stupid because, like, Xana chose Yumi, obviously, and that freaked everybody out. I'm surprised that he didn't just say, "Hey, listen, all of you have this problem." Maybe because he probably would have gotten found out. Like, wait a minute, all of us have this problem. That's a bit suspicious, but I feel like it still should be suspicious. Obviously, that like Yumi got infected and like no one else did. So obviously Yumi mad at so wait, does Xana Hopper, does he say that Jeremy was the reason that all these problems happened, and that's what convinces him?
Yes.
Okay, well that makes sense.
What'd you say?
Because that makes sense. Because if Xana convinced everyone that like, oh, Jeremy's the guy who did all this to you, it's his fault. Because I was thinking to myself, did he? Oh, you want to say something?
No, I'll say it. You go later. You go first.
Okay, well, so obviously Yumi's mad because like, oh, I'm probably gonna die soon, and Oric's mad like, oh, she's probably gonna die soon. Odd's mad too, like, oh, well, Oric's worried that like Yumi's gonna die soon. Meanwhile, Ilea, who for a while I was confused, like, why is Ilea not mad about all of this? And then I realized, well, she probably doesn't trust Franz Hopper, probably because she doesn't really know him all that well after being on Lyoko for so long and really
Just
forgetting
pop
about
up
him.
like, hello.
So everyone's mad at each other, and Ulrich is obviously blaming Jeremy because like, oh, well, you're the guy with like 2,000 IQ. Shouldn't you have known about this? If I was Jeremy, I don't blame Jeremy for wanting to leave because I'd be so ticked off. Because if I was Jeremy, I would have been mad. I would have been like, after everything I've done for you people, after me going into Lyoko, into the Matrix world and finding you guys and convincing you that you were in the Matrix, episode 24, by the way, After me doing that, you turn on me after this. Oh, great! Thanks a lot for having friends. Jeez, yeah. If I was Germany, I would never do anything for them ever again. At least until they apologize.
You're on your own, you guys.
Yeah. But goodness gracious. So everyone's just fighting, which obviously it's not the petty kind of fight that we saw in Xana's case, and it's obviously not the stupid fighting where we saw with the chips are down, but still they're fighting, and I don't like to see them fight. I want to see them win, but of course they're teenagers, so what are you gonna do? So Jeremy is like, okay, so guess what? So everyone's blaming me, or I'm out of here. Meanwhile, everyone goes to Lyoko without Jeremy. And like, so they're like, okay, this France Hopper fellow, you're gonna take care of us, right? You are the new Jeremy Bell plot. And he's like, yeah, I am. I will help you. Which I find funny. Like, okay,
guy.
so yeah, he is the guy. So we go
Sorry.
to Lyoko. So what's their goal here at this point? Are they trying to stop the tower when they go to Sector 5?
I'm
I
sorry.
What's
think
their goal
it was
here?
meant to be like a Sector 5 data run because they needed data from Xana to find the. Well, that was a story Xana was feeding them through friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'll roll with that then. So he gives them all new weapons again. I do now. I'm surprised Xana was able to do this and Jeremy wasn't able to. Although the guy took forever in order for him to materialize Ilia, so he's not the smartest guy in the world. But you know, whoever did, clearly Xana knows how to do things that Jeremy does not know how to do,
Mhm.
and so that's a one up that he has on him. All right, to send you guys in, and we'll wait for Ilia. And then Jeremy realizes, oh, wait a minute, he said something. That's right, the journal. How does he know that? Oh, it's Xana. Well, no wonder everything's been going wrong. I've been tricked. So he shows up to save the day. He's like, oh, you're Xana. And obviously we have the moment where he's like, hi, gotcha. And Xana's like, no. And blows up. Which is the greatest death in the anime history. 10 out of 10. Watch Mojo.
It's the most Lyoko to ever Lyoko.
Yes, absolutely. So I do like I absolutely enjoyed the part where they basically tricked Xana into thinking that Ilia is dead. Like he isn't. So obviously, I absolutely do love the Xana attack here. Is that Xana? You know, he impersonates France Hop. Yeah, like I said, I like some things about this episode. I hate some things about this episode, and definitely Xana really got one up on them for a while. Months of planning really paid. It almost pulled off for him. So yeah, they win, and then everyone is happy.
He almost. Their stupid dog.
I thought that
You meddling kids.
I almost got away with it.
I think my last point here is that Adel Robia is a better boxer than Dylan Danis is. I think that he'd probably beat Logan Paul with what we saw in this episode. So yeah, solid B.
Okay.
Solid B.
I just
There you
two things real quick. One of them was about that boxing match that happened. I thought it was weird that well, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but like I just thought it was weird that you have like the creeper just kind of frozen there for a good like 10 seconds, and it's just kind of we're just kind of watching that scene, waiting for something to happen. It was just like 10 seconds gone by of the creeper just totally like knocked out, trying to come back to reality. I thought that was kind of weird. But then the other thing,
It's funny.
yeah, and the other thing was what you pointed out earlier, Colton, and other people, that it technically it's if anything did happen, yeah, it would be on Jeremy. But also, I guess to also counter that is that the warrior, everyone else, agreed to go on this journey with him. So I mean, they don't know what they're getting into, but they should know that there would be risk. So they shouldn't be, all that mad at Jeremy.
Oh yeah. Actually,
So,
I was going to bring that up. Actually, thank you for reminding me. Is
Mhm.
that like with what Bookbird was talking about? How basically when a kid, yeah, with a kid, like death is a really hard thing for. It's a really hard pill to swallow for a kid, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but at the same time, like we've 49 episodes in, and like at least 48 of them they've almost died. So I get what you're trying to say, but at the same
This
time, like they've been through the rigmarole.
I mean,
this is a very different scenario, though. Like that's the thing.
Is
Um,
it?
I'd say so.
Okay. Well, okay. Honestly, yeah, because
No,
like I guess dealing with a bunch of zombies and having like dealing with a polymorphic clone of you and
because like,
whatever weird text. Peter
because
Duncan.
like the, because like the
Just
difference
Peter Duncan.
between, oh, no, but the difference between like them going and doing the Xan attacks, risking everything on Lyoko, and Franz Hopper, well, fake Franz Hopper rolling in with the cell degeneration stuff is like everything else they signed up for. But to learn that your friend has technically been actively putting the rest of you in danger. Mind you, he doesn't go to Lyoko. He is not at any of this risk at all.
yeah.
But the rest of them have to suffer, and Yumi clearly suffered the most from it. At least at this point, that's what they think. Yeah, I think it does feel a little different because it's like yes, you always knew that there's a very high likelihood that you could die through all of this, even through the fun, even through all the games. Xana's danger is very real and is very present, but they didn't sign up to literally get cancer.
Yeah.
You know, like that wasn't a possibility that was ever on their minds. So
I still
yeah.
I'd still think that. I mean, before this episode, you have other situations that come up. And I'm not talking about Xana, like Earth attacks, but like I mean, most of them have been to Yumi though. But like her getting stuck on Lyoko and other like because of I can't remember the actual reasons, but them signing up, but they all signed up to to be the ones to help Jeremy, and they there is a possible it could lead to death. It's don't know how. But and then with this situation is it's I don't know.
As far as they knew, Jeremy at least knew enough about the virtualization
Right, okay.
to at least have them continuously do it throughout. Also, Flower brings up a good point in chat. Neither of them are 100% right in this scenario, but I think that the Lyoko Warriors are justified in their anger here. Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, Xana puts us in danger every day. Yeah, we jump into the danger every day. We didn't expect you to put us in danger,
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay,
yeah.
That's a better way to put it.
That's another argument for Jeremy to make is that like Ulrich's like, well, shouldn't you have known that shouldn't you have known that Yumi had cellular degeneration? And he probably would be like, oh, I'm sorry that I've been working so hard to try and stop Xana and trying to materialize that way that I couldn't figure out all the pieces that were lined up and whatnot.
Well, it's something that
but
you
I
would,
will say,
it's something you would have
think-
figured
There's one
out
thing
before.
I will say.
Okay.
There's one thing I will say. Like, I know Jeremy obviously is like very, very like well acquainted with the supercomputer, but there's one thing we have to keep in mind: he didn't create the technology. Like, even at the end of the series, I would say, yeah, like I would say he doesn't know necessarily every single thing about the scanners, about the supercomputer, about like everything in regards
That
to the
is a fact.
supercomputer. Yeah, so
It's happened
but at the
already.
same time, but you can also use that argument and say, hey, maybe you should be a little bit more cautious with like the side effects of going on to Lyoko. Maybe you should have researched that a little bit more and stuff. So you can definitely like use it for both ways.
You definitely should have like tested a lot of things before even like getting them signed up to be virtualized and stuff. And because you have problems that come up with a supercomputer throughout the series
Yeah.
that he has to try and figure out because like you said, he didn't. This is not his technology, but he's smart enough to
But he has
try
to get a
fix
girlfriend as fast as possible.
it. Oh my god!
Y'all watch anime. I'm
But
just kidding.
Flower,
Colton's point about like Jeremy being so busy with the fight against Xana that he didn't have time to check to make sure it was safe does kind of feel like a weak argument. Like, no, like yes, saving Alita is a priority, but like the lives of your friends who are helping you do this are also a pretty high priority. Granted, I do think Jeremy
Not to
does
him,
keep on top
apparently.
of their vitals like all the time. He would never like knowingly send someone to their doom. At least not without even if like Jeremy is like, okay, I have one possibility, but like there's a good chance you'll die, so like don't do it. And like he would actively advise them not to like put their lives in like to like if he was certain that if you do this you will die, he's very adamant of like don't do it. Granted, it's mostly shown with Aelita. Doesn't really show this with the others, but the others aren't quite as self-sacrificial as Aelita, so like I went on a bit of a ramble there, but in a nutshell, Jeremy should be keeping on top of his friends' livelihoods and their chance of surviving a trip to Lyoko on top of like the fight against Xana. Like that's pretty important. Very important. Anyway.
All right. Okay, I have one more point then. So in IFSCL, you're able to virtualize people over the digital sea, right?
I don't know.
You can. Most people do it on accident, but you can.
Okay, well, how come Xana can't do that?
Well, he needs Aelita for at this time. Important
Well,
time.
he doesn't need the other three.
Well, yeah, I guess.
He couldn't virtualize Aelita and the other three at the same time, and if he just started like insta killed the three by throwing them in the digital sea, Aelita would have immediately known something was up and might not have gone in the scatter.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I said that would have he would have to trap Aelita first to do that, but that's funny though to think about.
Well, he can still get rid of a couple of them. Be like, I got rid of a couple of them. You're down 2 people.
Oh no!
Take that. Well, who are you going to find now? All right, Herb, Nicholas, we need your help.
We need to test it. Oh.
This episode, honest to God, this is a dream drop distance episode of Koyoko.
Oh my God.
What'd you say?
You don't have to get, but Way's got it.
Oh, okay.
I got
I was distracted.
Yeah.
I should let you talk now, right? By God.
Yeah. Is that?
Let's finish this.
Yeah, I thought I had one more thing to say, but I can't think of it. It might come back to me. Oh, it was the it was what?
One more thing. I do approve of the Spike It's 3D game over references.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if that's where you were going, but that you said a couple times where it triggered my memory. I just thought that was hilarious.
I wasn't even thinking of that when I said it, but now but it makes it 10 times better now. So awesome.
I was gonna say something about the line where Fake France says, "And you were the one who destroyed my diary." I feel like how did no one catch that right away when he said that? I mean, I don't know. I can't remember exactly where everyone was at the time in that episode. But like that's I feel like that should have been something.
Literally in the lab when Xana says, "And you're the one who let him destroy my diary."
Yeah, I know. Well, I meant like for the episode when he actually destroys the diary, because no one picked up on that when he said that. I feel like that's something that you would pick up right away. That's a oopsie on Xana's part, like right there. And just
was Jeremy the only one who actually saw that though?
Oh, he was possessed.
No. The rest of them. I was about to say, it's like I thought Jeremy was the only one who saw the diary being destroyed, but no, like the other Lyoko warriors saw it.
Yeah, because Jeremy was possessed.
Directly saw
apparently Xana saw it too.
Yeah, because they went into his room or something, right?
Xana's the only one who technically saw it happen because he had possessed Jeremy.
Yeah.
But everyone else had left the room, and they only knew it as an afterthought when they came across the diaries destroyed.
Okay, because I think they said to themselves, or everyone agreed upon that Xana destroyed them, right?
Yep.
So that's what
I think it just comes down to the fact that Jeremy is smarter than the rest of the group.
Well, yeah, I guess so. And I mean,
No,
also,
one of
sorry, also this, because of the situation of, the whole cell degeneration, there's probably they're not really thinking totally straight at the moment.
Well,
crap.
I would contend, what reason do they have to question how Franz knows his diary is destroyed? You could think, well, he went to check if his diary was still in the lockbox and it wasn't there, so maybe, Xana had to have destroyed it. Like, as far as the Warriors are
I
aware,
mean, who
they
else?
know the diary was destroyed. They just don't question why Franz knows that. Jeremy doesn't even question it in the moment.
Yeah,
It's only when he starts thinking about it and he's like,
Yeah.
well, how would Franz know?
Exactly.
The
I just
diary.
thought, I don't know. I still think, like, I get that
That's
there's
why
a
in the
lot.
moment they don't question it because
feel
it's
like-
not a
I mean,
pungently questionable thing.
I don't know.
They
I
know-
just, I feel like it's something that I still feel like it's something that they like. I know. Again, I know that there's a lot on their mind at the time, but like, man, that's something I would have been like. I would have been like, wait, what? How do you weren't around? How do you know? So yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a little error in my opinion, but.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty consistent
Mm,
thought process in terms of normal psychological
Well,
thought pattern.
yeah.
that's all I have to say. Now the floor, Wazy has.
Go for it, Wazy.
Does Wazy have anything to add that Flower has not already added?
Oh,
I'm
Jeremy
sure.
enough in this episode?
What?
I'm sorry. But no, for real. I think that Franz Hopper is a phenomenal episode. I mean, there is really a lot to love. I mean, the premise, for one, we don't get a lot of major events like birthdays or things like that in Code Lyoko a lot. So seeing that, hey, it's Jeremy's birthday and the group is having fun celebrating, it's really nice. It really cements their friendship as well with just a little thing.
We lost you,
We're
Wazy.
losing them.
We lost you there for a
Sorry?
second. We lost you for
Oh
a second
god,
there.
sorry. Where'd you lose me?
Talking about the birthdays.
Oh god. Okay. What's it? No, this episode is a lot of fun because of things like what's it? We rarely get things like birthdays in Code Lyoko, so it's one of those things that just really cements the Lyoko Warriors' friendship. Things like them messing around with Jeremy, like when he's on the phone with his dad, that's really fun. What's it? Just the kind of thing that friends do, especially kids at that age. What's it? Things like the picture that they give to him. It's really nice. It's really sweet. There's a lot of good things in this episode, and I like that a lot. One of the other things I can say for this episode is that it's just a really well put together plan on Xana's part, and I think that just coming up with a Xanified version of Franz Hopper, as it's been mentioned, using the information that they know, like they do not know Aelita's human, so yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that I, Franz Hopper, created Aelita. That makes sense, It's just, and the fact that they've been following this mystery, Xana put this together really, really well in terms of manipulating them, in terms of he had all of his facts straight. The only thing that made him mess up is the fact that he mentioned the diary. And it is such a casual thing that, oh god, because it's information that he has, but I guess he didn't really think about it. It was a miscalculation on his part, and I kind of like the idea that while Xana is a very sophisticated machine who has been learning, it's also a testament to how much he has learned about humanity throughout the course of the series. He's long past the days of things like image problem to image problem and Xana's kiss to now I'm going to completely fool these people, I'm going to play on their emotions by using Yumi and only Yumi. And it's just, I'm going to isolate Jeremy from the group because he is the one who knows how to run the controls. Without him, I can do basically whatever I want. It is clever. It is well thought out. It is genuinely ingenious, and I love that for this episode. Um, What else could I possibly say?
Your favorite scene?
Shoot. Well, yes, of course, my favorite scene. The greatest scene in Code Lyoko history, where Jeremy, the absolute Chad, comes in and tells Xana that he had a decoy, and Xana just rage quits. Love that. It's the Code Lyoko scene ever.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. God. And of course, the group making up in the end is really fun. We didn't talk enough about Michael Belpois. Michael Belpois is just such a cool guy.
Oh,
and yeah, like just you can tell that
Down to earth.
You can tell. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we're not there yet. Okay.
Yeah, pun unintended, but then intended when I.
Glad someone brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Oh, God.
Such an understanding, chill dude, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that. Well, okay, one thing you got to give Code Lyoko for in terms of its parents, like just in general, designing like parents for these characters is some shows they just make an exact version of the child and just say, yeah, this is the parent. And for every character in Code Lyoko, except for maybe Odd's parents, but even Odd's parents have every parent in Code Lyoko just has a good way of showing of like they give a lot of nice insight on this character's childhood and like the relationship with their parents, how exactly they grew up. They say so little.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though the parents make Yumi's parents are the most prominent, but like even characters like Jeremy's parents and Jeremy's dad and God, Jeremy's dad, Ulrich's parents. Yumi's make a lot of appearances, and they do as well. But Jeremy's dad, Ulrich's parents, Odd's parents, even though they made one appearance, they do a really good job of like just saying a lot about the characters, a lot about their upbringing. They say so much in so little time, and like they add upon what we already know, and all of it makes sense. And Michael Belpois especially is one of those characters that does it so well for Jeremy. Even for Sissy with Mr. Delmas, like.
Oh, lost you.
When it comes to just they give a lot of nice implications, and I think that's really cool. And Michael Belpois, especially in this episode, does a lot for like he's Jeremy's dad, and he's a really chill and understanding guy, and it makes sense to the idea that Jeremy as a character, despite in the beginning being so a bit of a loner, he's also incredibly confident in himself, and like he's incredibly confident in himself and his abilities. Yeah,
Lost you again.
His most supportive guy. It makes sense that. Oh, sorry, God, where did I get lost?
You said something about I can't remember. Just whatever. Just like the last 2 seconds. Just repeat that last sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look at Jeremy is very confident in himself, and yeah, he has his moments, but But when you look at his dad and like chill, understanding, just supportive guy, it makes sense that Jeremy would have a lot of that self-confidence, because when you look at his dad, you look at, this is probably the type of parent who told his kid, you can do whatever you want with your life. throughout. And like, I don't know, I just really like that about Michael Belpaw is a cool guy, and he gives a lot of nice inference about Jeremy's character, and that's really, really cool. Um, 10 out of 10 episode. It's great. It's an S. I don't think I have much else to say. Oh yeah, the stuff on Lyoko was cool. I really love the tension in this episode. Everything that builds up from getting to meet Franz Hopper. Actually, also comparison between Jeremy's dad and Franz Hopper. Also, the note that he's very fatherly is really neat, especially from Lita, because we know what's coming next. God. I think it's cool that Jeremy makes the comparison to his own father. He's like, man, I wish I had a dad like that. But then, he comes to be like, actually, my dad's really cool. Like, oh God. It S, maybe S plus. Franz Hopper is a phenomenal episode.
All right. That was some good discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I want someone to time how long it took for us to talk about the chips are down and Franz Hopper and find out which one.
It took like an hour and a half to 2 hours for chips are down.
And this was
4:30-ish to my time. So yeah, about almost an hour and a half, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So I guess we'll start from the top to go over everyone's ranking again. So Dylan.
S triple plus.
All right. I don't. J-Man. S, right?
Wait, were you about to say something?
No, I'm still thinking, to be honest. You go.
Alright, yeah, like, honestly, I was about to give it like an A or something, but nah, Flower convinced me to put this on S. It's like, again, this episode was a really great case study of like testing the whole group's friendship, dynamic, trust, and all that kind of stuff. And I just love the storylines. I love the storyline in this episode. I love all the Lyoko scenes. I just love seeing like all the different moments that this episode had to offer and stuff. And yeah, there's not much more I can say. I felt like this was a really, really not just good, but a really important episode. I would say one of the most memorable ones out there for both good and slightly bad reasons. But yeah, this is definitely an S tier. I love it.
Okay. Flower.
S plus.
S plus. Colton, is yours still B?
Yeah, still B.
All right. And then Wazy said S.
Yep.
So
S plus.
S plus.
This episode's not absolutely not S rank. This is not perfect. You guys are so wrong about that. I did ass.
We've all had our moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colton should have.
I've had my moment here.
I mean, you should have had. Now thinking of it, you should have had you should have had the floor last. That was pretty funny. I'm still. I don't know. I'm still like.
I turned it back around.
Yeah. I'm just like going back over the episode in my head. I just watched it last night. It is such a good episode. I'm having trouble to rank it S. And I'm very tempted to.
Is this episode really that important?
It's definitely important though.
I feel like we just gloss over it when the next episode comes up.
Too bad.
Next episode is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Man.
190 to 166 in the.
Yeah, we can hear that audio, by the way.
Yeah.
That was loud. That was pretty loud. God, I don't know. Because originally I was thinking A. Just thinking about all the moments this had. Look at the other S tier episodes.
Honestly, I think B plus, or A minus, for me. at this point because like
Okay.
I lean it more positive
Ooh.
actually. Now that I
You
think about it.
changed your mind.
A little bit.
At least a little.
The small victories.
Victory. Oh.
Victory screech. No.
Oh my god! I never really been stuck on an episode before, deciding blank or blank.
Again, this episode's so complex.
Yeah, but like, I don't.
It's layered, and it's like
Don't
it was perfect to the very last. No,
stop
I'm
it.
not doing the meme.
Yeah, Maribut say no. What is that? Is that what episode is that one? Oh, New Order, duh, and then Cold War. Well,
Can't on the tier list on the stream.
Oh yeah, I can't see tier list.
oh yeah. Let me
Yeah,
get rid
we
of that
can't
real
see
quick.
the-
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, let me just do this. Just give it a few seconds for the stream.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess yeah. I'll give it
I'm giving yes out of 10.
yes out of 10. All right. You got me, guys.
Ooh.
I'll give it an S.
Woo!
Not an S plus, so. Well, I'm just going to say S. Well, it can't be S plus anyways, but so with one B or A minus.
Cam, I think you're on the wrong
We
thing.
could always make it happen.
Oh, what the fuck? What's going on here?
Sorry, that's very funny, Vicar. This
Super
lost.
slow clap, everybody.
Oh my god, that's the I have one. That's the there's oh, man. They should not be titled the same. All right, there you go. Oh, thank God. I thought that was showing something else. Okay, so yeah, so the top
What am I
S
looking
tier.
at?
It was just it's the same server. I just a different. I unmuted the wrong thing.
Okay, there we go. Oh, I can finally see it. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not even live.
So you have Maribut, and then you have New Order, and then Cold War is your top is your 3S rank episodes for season 2. For France Hopper, we have 5 S's and 1 B/A minus. So how does that work? Does that still make it an S minus or an A? Because I after looking at this list, I kind of want to put it like either right here, or actually, I mean, realistically for me, I would put it like right here, but or does it go like
What's not
right
Peter
here?
Duncan, for God's sake? I'm kidding. Peter Duncan is.
Where does it go?
I'm gonna say above
Do-
Cold War.
That's what I was thinking, but since we have one non-S rank, what does that what happens?
Do we? That is a good question. Do we think that?
What? You cut off.
Say
that again?
Sorry. Do we think the 5 S's overrule the B? Like.
I mean,
that
that's
is
a
the
lot
good
of
question.
S's.
So I am the best Koyuka fan
Yeah.
ever, so therefore I get all the power in the world. The overall
The-
No,
decision.
anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, like we've had like I have like this. I have all of my like episodes. Well, I think most of them here on this piece of paper, and the other times we've had 45 episode 45. Where is that at? What episode is that? Where are you?
Cold War.
Okay, Cold War. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 S's and 2 A's that made it to where it's at. There was an episode where it was like you had a lot of S's and then we had a C. So let me find that one. Because that would probably like kind of like I would know. Man, where is that one? B's. Oh, here's 42 is all B's, but with one C. Episode 42, and that one's what do you call that one? A Fine Mess. Wait, that's interesting. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because that one was all B's and one C, which brought it down to B minus at the end of the B rank. Man, where's that one triple S and C one at? I know it's on here. Oh, is it 39, I think? Let me just double check. This is important, guys, okay? Just be patient.
All right, now let's prove Cam wrong and have more than a 10-minute discussion on content.
It's just... Okay.
God.
Yeah. Okay, it's definitely being more 10 minutes, but I was kind of exaggerating, but 39, where's that one at? That is A Bad Turn. You have S, A, S, A, S, A, A minus.
What was
C.
the ranking?
39? A bad turn? Wazy?
Wazy, we lost you. Alright.
Damn,
he got devirtualized.
That is different, I would say.
That's a bit different. Yeah, I guess I don't have one where it's like you have all but one that's different besides the 42 one, because that one was all B's with one C. So I guess if you really look at it that way, since they were all ranked B with one C, which brings it down to B at the bottom of B. I guess if you have all S's with one A minus or B, then it would, I guess, still be S minus. If you want to go by that.
Fair.
So, with what Dylan and I think could still stay where it's at right now on screen, right before Cold War, and I'll be okay with that. So, I do want to know since most everyone has ranked at S, I do want to know if everyone did rank at S. Where do you think it goes in the S rank? Like with the other episodes we have, I'm actually curious.
There's
above
time.
Marabunta.
Oh,
but
damn!
I don't know if I would put this necessarily.
Yes.
Damn. Did not say.
You're asking me to rank episodes
Above
against each
Marabunta.
other within a ranking.
I was just curious with this
just
one.
lost me at that point.
I was just curious with this one.
What's next to it? New Order?
Yeah, new order. Yeah.
You could put that above New Order, but above Marabunta, I don't know about that.
About Flower? Oh, like
I also think in between Marabunta and New Order would be good. I think New Order is a very good episode, but like it's tricky because I feel like we're comparing two different types of episodes. Franz Hopper is a plot episode. So is
New Order is too. Marabunta, not really, but
no, but it feels like both episodes are good for different reasons, though. That's what makes it
that's my issue.
This is my contention with asking me to rank things within a ranked tier.
Shut up, Dylan.
I would say New Order is the much more like fun episode to watch. It's the much more fun episode to watch, but
they're all I mean, all of these are really fun to come back to. But yeah,
no, but Franz Hopper is like the much more like plot important one. It's the much more interesting episode of the two.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah,
I think the interest puts it above Marabunta, but that's just me. I know it's not going there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised though that you said that. Anyways, but like it's definitely got interest, but like Marabunta is in the you have the more serious plot, interesting one, and then Marabunta is like the very fun, exciting one, and then New Order, almost kind of the same boat as Marabunta. It was just a very good season opener. It has a lot going on with it. It's just like, after watching season 1, it's like boom, 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 plot, opening up the plot.
Didn't I rank Marabunta like an A? I feel like I did.
Let me see. I don't have the names written down, but you were usually the last one. So I think you did rate it. I think that is probably you. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's crazy. All right, we're just gonna ignore Rosie now. Well,
I will
we
not
can't.
be silent.
Well, we can't put it. Definitely, we can't. We definitely can't put it above Marubuta, no matter what.
I know we
But
can't.
I know.
I
But
know
now
we
we're
can't.
just deciding, like,
It's a
like.
question of, is it better
It's-
than New Order, or is New Order better than
Yes.
Friends Hopper?
Well, Wasey thinks that, but we're ignoring him now. But I think it stays here. Especially if we want to count Colton's rank, because we're kind of been like, thinking that never happened.
Then you have to ask yourself,
I'm not
it's like, which episode would you, which
You don't have
episode
to.
would you find yourself going to, like, more than the other?
Well, definitely in this order that we have right
Friends
now.
Hopper.
I would definitely come back to Marubuta more than New Order. I would come back to New Order more than France Hopper. I mean, Cold War, it's such a good episode. I definitely would come back to it too. I just don't know. I think France Hopper is good where it's at right now. Yeah, I'm okay with this placement, to be honest.
Yeah, I would
not.
say that too.
Did you hear that?
This is not
I
a
thought I heard
perfect
somebody.
episode.
I mean, hey,
I thought I heard
Wesley,
something.
I know how you
I thought I
feel
heard-
Like,
because
this
I thought I heard somebody say something, but
I know. I was gonna say, Wazy, I know how you feel because the episode Plagued from season 1 that should have been S rank, but nobody
I
voted
think
it for
did
us. So.
I rank that S? I don't have that on this page. That's an older one. Yeah, I don't have that one. I think
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't. No, I know I ranked that at least A. I definitely ranked that A, or nothing below that because that was a episode I enjoyed besides the Deep Possession. But I think Jay and Flower, you two were also I think agree with this, right? The placement, or was it, or did you want it?
I think the placement's okay. I'm okay with it either being in the second or third spot because they're both very good episodes. I think France Hopper's technically better, but I also don't know if that's entirely fair because France Hopper's building on like a season's worth of build up, and New Order is like the start of that build up.
Yeah.
New Order is still a phenomenal episode, and like I'm not trying to take that from it, but I think the manipulation of France Hopper over the like I'm actually being serious. I'm not like memeing. I'm not, but I feel like the manipulation of France Hopper and just everything that happens in this episode. New Order still has a lot of intrigue. What with the Hermitage, what with everything going on. It's still intense. But I just think France Hopper has the edge against it in terms of just like general intrigue, general buildup of its tension, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Now it's like I have to watch these episodes back to back next to each other to like. Man, I just watched France Hopper last night though, but from what I remember from the other two, I'm like, yeah.
Well, we're only going to be talking about Contact for 10 minutes, so I guess we got time.
Yeah. No. Anyways, we'll be now. So where it's at is where it's at. Congratulations to everyone but Waze and Colton. Moving on to Contacts, which is going to be the last episode we talk about today. And I got notes in here, but not a lot. It's the same amount I have for France Hopper. Just like.
All right, I shall start.
Go ahead.
Contact is a very intriguing episode.
Okay, you scared me there.
The show up till now has sort of presented a lot of the concepts of Lyoko as, activating towers is mostly Xana's thing. Jeremy's done it once, but it didn't really end well for him. And it, up until now, the only colors we've seen the towers are blue and red. I think when Jeremy activated one, it was green, but I might be blanking wrong there.
Yep.
You're
right. They see this white. Ulrich sees the white tower, and Elise sees, and they're like, "I've never seen that before."
Mm-hmm.
And it presents us this bit of intrigue, like, oh, who is this? What could this be? And then there's the whole thing with Franz taking over Sissy as an attempt to try and get in contact and communicate with the Warriors, because he doesn't quite have enough power to just work freely from within the computer. To like send a message or whatever in a text format. So we get that like interesting angle and like how Sissy's talking in like sort of a coded, encrypted style speech that needs to be interpreted in order to actually be understood. And then like it all builds up and we get a nifty little cliffhanger at the end where it's like Franz Hopper,
Yeah.
and everyone's we end with Aelita's shocked face, almost as like a mechanic of foreshadowing. Like Franz Hopper is particularly relevant to Aelita. You'll find out in the next 2 episodes. And come on, our boy Ulrich just gets to chat it out with a bunch of mega tanks in the forest sector for a little while, before he unceremoniously has to do a block that only lasts about half as long as his beautiful epic one at the end of Code Earth. So, it's a solid guaranteed A. You could convince me S- type of episode.
I will not.
It progresses the plot very nicely. It's sort of the only shortcoming of it is it's more of a setup episode for 51 and 52 than it is like its own standalone thing. But that's not inherently bad, in a sense that when you're serializing a show, you still have plot fillers, which are episodes that get you set up for the actual plot heavy episodes, which we're about to have. So we need to fill a slot, but we're not going to make an episode that's not relevant to the plot. So we're going to add in and build up and set the intrigue for the next 2 episodes to deliver on, which it does. It does a pretty good job of.
Yeah, I think
we don't get an answer of why Franz is contacting them. We don't still don't entirely know who Franz Hopper is and why he's, we still don't know why he's super relevant to the current fight against Xana, aside from he made the supercomputer, made Xana, and all these things.
Which you explained in the previous episode.
So like I said, good, and the episode doesn't really do anything wrong. The fight scenes are good. The action is good. The pacing is actually really solid. The episode doesn't really slow down or go too fast. So yeah, it's a solid A+, maybe S-. But I can also see some be like, well, it's a B. But I'm going to give it the alpha positive.
All right. Well, we will come back to get final ranks. What was I going to say? I think we were talking about like setting it up for the last 2 episodes, which can make sense. I think it's a little weird that we do get this episode right after the fake Franz Hopper episode, but I'm not really gonna like dwell on that too much. It's really not that big of a deal. I just thought it was kind of weird.
If you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both. I do still think it was a little odd, but
because well, I mean, it also makes you skeptical, which I think that cliffhanger actually worked. Like,
yeah, that cliffhanger of the
Franz
episode,
Hopper, but we just defeated Xana Franz Hopper. So how do we know this one's legit? But the show's like, tune in next week to find out.
I like the ending of that episode. It just gave me a good chuckle because he's translating it and everything, and you hear it over and over being like repeated. I'm Franz Hopper. I'm Franz Hopper. I am Franz Hopper. And you hear in the background while Aelita talks to, and then after she repeats it herself, like saying Franz Hopper, and then you hear one more Franz Hopper, and then it goes to the credits. That just gave me a good chuckle.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
The one Pokemon clip with Servine and, of course, Cameron's secret weapon.
Oh my! Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh.
I do have to agree with Vigor a little bit too. That I think it would, like, despite with the cliffhanger, which I think is good for setting up the last 2 episodes. I do like it would be nice to get this episode maybe a little earlier in the season, but since they kind of like France Hopper gets brought up a lot, especially in the beginning of the season, but I don't know.
No, that's not what they said. That's not what they said. They're not saying that this episode should have been earlier in the season. They're saying that they wish that it had more setup to it earlier in the season. So I imagine,
a bit earlier in this.
if I'm correct, and you can tell me, in the
Well, that doesn't make
chat
sense.
that would you have liked for France Hopper to have been progressively trying to contact them throughout the season? Is that what you're suggesting? Or
Yeah, now I'm curious myself. Now
something else.
Yeah, I did not read it like that. I was thinking of the episode itself, but
Yeah.
because if that's the case,
We'll have to wait.
yeah. But if that's
yeah.
if that is the case, I would agree with that too. I've been interesting. I mean, I wonder if maybe maybe he has though too. We don't really know on what's going on.
That's true as well.
So that's fun. That's a fun thing to think about.
At least as far as show goes, we have no idea if he's attempted this before.
Yeah.
But that's a really
Yeah, I like that. And like, yeah. But let's see what else. I like how most of my notes are like are mainly like time stamps for memes. I don't really because like I'm trying to think because I don't have anything like nothing necessarily is wrong with this episode in my opinion. I just thought it was kind of mid, but I know it's also kind of an important episode, especially after dealing with a fake France Hopper. Poor sissy, but yeah, I don't really have anything great or bad to say about this episode. But if I'll chip in if I have something that I forgot. But I will pass along the mic to J-Man.
Wait.
it's my turn now.
Do we want to?
Wait, what?
Wait, go ahead,
Do we want to look at what Vigor has said
I
in?
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Either of those could technically work. From what I understand, France, up till recently, was in prison somewhere on Lyoko, and he just so happens to escape as soon as Yana tries to impersonate him. Which is true. Yeah, I did think to myself earlier that, like France sees this. The real France sees this happen. It's like, oh, he just impersonated me. I need to reach out, which I think was kind of funny to think about, but I think having him try to contact them through a few failed attempts before it revealed who it was would be a bit better than having back-to-back episodes. Yeah, I mean, I think that I could agree with that, and that's such a fun thought though. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think that's it. All right, J-Man.
All right, this was episode Contact, right?
Yes.
So I had to literally, because this is one of those episodes where I do remember myself watching, like, kind of, but it's like, in order to, like, really describe it, I had to, like, do a quick, like, rundown on, like, YouTube and stuff. And it's like, I think I'm sort of in the same boat as you, Camp. It's like, this isn't exactly boring to watch, but it's not exactly too much fun either. Like, I kind of see this as a setup episode for, like, future events. Because, like, I did find the whole, like, thing with, like, Sissy, like, being temporarily controlled by I'm pretty sure it was France Hopper, right? I found that to be really, really, like, let's say interesting. Because it's, like, seeing, like, Sissy at the hospital, her barely being able to speak, but then her, like, she's kind of, like, walking, like a manipulated zombie or something like that. I just found that to be pretty interesting. But other than that, there's not too much else I could say. Like, what struck me out was, like, let's say, the Auric fight in the forest, because he was going up against, like, 2 mega tanks, right? Like, I found that to be fun, and
yeah.
But yeah, and him like holding out against like the mega tank beam, like he was doing like a little sword struggler or something like that, which I thought that was really cool to see, and stuff. I'm just wondering, like, when it comes to like the movie that Odd showed in the beginning, it's like I'm surprised that like the nobody noticed like the shadowy figure that was circling around Sissy,
Yeah, they never
like,
do.
cause it. Yeah, like how did
Hey.
Odd did the he was right in front of her. How did he not see that? I know he was looking up at Sissy's face, but it's like I would have seen that if I was like 3 seats like away from her.
Specters
But
are visible or invisible depending on what the plot demands.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not too much else I can really say about this. It's more so like a setup episode because the whole reason that Sissy was even being controlled like this was because she would like she was supposed to go to the factory and like give Jeremy, I guess, like let's say the code that he needed. I'm pretty sure he was trying to unlock some sort of data. I
Yeah.
believe yeah. And then that was pretty much the purpose of like Sissy like being a pretty much a plot device in this. But other than that, like I don't really got too much to say about this. It's sort of like hey, you need to watch this episode to know like future events and like the episodes after this. So it's more so on like the B tier for me. It's not exactly I wouldn't say it's boring at all. I wouldn't say it's badly written. It just feels like this was a necessary episode to get to the next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just
So
like
that's how it feels.
filler slash setup.
Yeah.
Not necessarily filler, but kinda at the same time. But
Yeah. And I don't know why. I kind of enjoy like pretty much like the. I really wish like we kind of had more scenes in like the hospitals and stuff like that in in future episodes because like I don't know. I just like seeing like the characters like struggling against like a nurse or a doctor or stuff like being xanified. Like I just think that's just a really cool concept. But yeah, other than that, just an okay episode. Beats here.
Alrighty. Flower, it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, so Contact, if I had not rewatched Contact in preparation for this tier stream, I probably would have been in the same boat. Like, yeah, it's a good episode. It's not a standout episode.
Okay.
But then I watched it and I realized the genius in this episode is like it lies in its more organic moments. This episode in particular just has like it's very good at just showcasing the LW just interacting with each other and just being very like it's a very organic episode, more so than I remembered. Because you have the opening scene where Jeremy's just like, I don't know if I can do this, and Oryx immediately like, yeah, you need to air out those neurons. You I'm just trying to think of other examples. You have the movie and it just plays. That movie is just so Odd Della Robbia,
It
like
is.
so much so. How did he convince
Yeah.
Missy to do this?
I know, what the heck?
Trickery, deception, and taking
Oh,
advantage of her desperation. You know,
Oh, man.
she didn't realize what the movie was about, and
Mhm.
just
I'll let you
really
go out forward.
she was ready to lay into him, and then Xana low-key bailed Odd out of that.
Well, Franz.
But Franz,
Well,
you're right. Franz
yeah.
bailed him out on that.
Well, Sissy was so like was just so like irritated that I feel like for everyone else's perspective, they probably thought that she was so like aggravated that she had a stroke, which is awful.
Yeah, that was the explanation. They don't do a Return to the Past. I
No,
think
they
that
don't.
is-
They had to drag another body to its original wherever it came from.
Yeah, her. Yeah, that's the explanation. She's just gonna live with that for the rest of her life. That she was like possessed by the ghost of Franz Hopper.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, some fun use of backwards speech.
Don't worry about it.
I know a while ago I did reverse it, and it's weirdly enough, it's the exact same message that Jeremy manages to decode. It's just, I'm Franz Hopper and I want to get in contact with you. I thought that was a neat touch. Yes, you have to like be able to pull that out and like reverse the audio to hear that, but I'm here for my Easter eggs.
And then Sissy's voice turned into France's voice.
You also just have the general mystery, because at first they're like, Xana? And then Jeremy's like, no tower, this isn't Xana. And they're like, huh, I guess she really did have a meltdown, because we don't know what
Yeah, I
the
know.
heck
That's
happened.
even funnier.
And you have the buildup of like, what is Sissy doing? Because she shows up in Jeremy's room and writes the coded script, and Jeremy's like, what? And Jim is just like, what? No one understands. And it's this constant mystery of like that you slowly get more and more pieces. Like, she is possessed. They see that they find the tower, or it gets the idea of like, I need to check out Lyoko, because this feels like a Lyoko nonsense thing, even if we can't prove that there's a tower that's activated. And then they find the tower, and it is indeed activated, but this time it's white. A white tower. We've never seen that before. I think this is a continuity error, but it's not important. It's a white tower and it's mysterious. You have that. There's actually a really good Lyoko scene where I think it's mega tanks. A bunch of mega tanks are chasing. Oh, they're like going down the path, and then Ulrich and Aelita are like, "Oh no, they're after us!" And Aelita makes the platform, and they dive. And then he drives. He doesn't dive. He drives to the side, and then they just pass by. And he's like, "Huh? Wait, what? Why didn't they come after us?" And then it's revealed they aren't going after them. They're after the tower. Everyone's like, "What? What?" It's it's a very it's a little more, it's not quite as in your face as some of the other reveals, but I just like that stepstone of like adding on to the weirdness of this entire situation. You have the iconic scene where after the tower is activated, while they're going to get Sissy back, sorry, I'm just trying to organize my thoughts here. Auric asks, like, okay, do we deactivate the tower that Xana activated, or protect the White Tower? And Jeremy hesitates for a moment. And Auric's like, I need an answer. Jeremy's like, protect the White Tower. But
good choice.
Yeah. There's also just generally a lot of banter here and there. What was it? Auric has the line of ready for a game of bowling, and Alita's like, huh? And then Jeremy's like, don't worry about it. It's just a dumb joke. That's just one example. This episode is just loaded with
because we asked, like, what's bowling?
And dialogue and whatnot. Whoever wrote the dialogue in this episode was very on point.
No, yeah, especially with that point, with Aelita not knowing what a lot of things are.
This is how she learns about bowling. Bowling is their dumb jokes about mega tanks.
Yep.
I just know now. I like the idea. They take her to a bowling alley. That's what it's called, the bowling alley, and she just looks and like, oh, they're like mini mega tanks.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Her frame of reference is
that sounds dangerous.
They make with the mega tanks.
I just want to say a side note. It's like I remember in a previous episode where like Yumi was telling Ulrich, "Hey, you must miss Odd. Your jokes are worse than his." But like Ulrich's jokes are like on the same level. Like I don't think they're any worse than Odd's per se.
They're not too far apart.
Still kind because now that you brought up the bowling joke, it's like I don't know, man. It's like he's kind of on a similar level. I won't say he's over Odd. He's definitely not. But it's like he's got like the same sense of humor.
Yeah,
I don't remember every single line, but I that was just one example.
I think they're all kind of like that now, thinking of it.
Not Yumi.
I was actually thinking of Yumi. Yumi's had a couple of those.
I think this is a good episode just in general. I don't want to do a play-by-play like I did for Franz Hopper. It's not quite on that. It's not as loaded as Franz Hopper, but like it's when you watch it, it's got some of how do I word this? It's very Code Lyoko with just how it's like they're living their lives and then something weird happens, and at first they think it's just their normal everyday life, and then it's like, no, actually this is Lyoko business. And then they're like, okay, but what kind of Lyoko business? And it's just a mystery that just grows and grows, and there's a bit of intrigue, like what took over Sissy, what is she trying to do, what's with the White Tower. And then you get that
Don't worry about
reveal at the very end. It's just like, oh, Franz Hopper. Do 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 do.
I'll start saying that now. I got
God.
Kamiko Bridge must be protected.
Oh man.
Oh.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can say. I honestly kind of want to put this on an S. I know most people won't agree with me,
That guy.
but like, I get that this episode isn't as memorable as Franz Hopper or some of the other episodes, but in terms of execution, it is actually very well handled.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna stick with my S. I do think, I think the only sin of this episode is it's sitting in a row with a bunch of like really more standout episodes. Like this one isn't as memorable, but also it's very well put together. I don't think I have anything else to say. I might add more later, but this is a great episode, and I'm gonna put it on as an S.
All right.
S for contacts.
No. That's your. All right. Colton.
All right, this Contact.
Yes.
Interesting episode this is.
Yes.
Odd short film, great stuff. It's just like break dance all over again. Anything done by Odd, it's going to be a mind trip, if you will. So Sissy being controlled not by Xana, but by Franz Hopper, like, yeah, how the turntables, if you will. Which I do want to say is that, first of all, is that I absolutely believe that this episode probably should have been before. No, not probably. I think it should have been before Franz Hopper, in my opinion, because I think that not only would have that made Contact a better episode, but that would have also made Franz Hopper a better episode. Probably an A rank, maybe. I'm kidding. Yeah, but yeah, I think it just seems weird that like this episode's after Franz Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. That's all I got to say about that. I'm kidding. So obviously Sissy is being controlled by Franz Hopper, and they have to crack the code with her doing some weird dialogue, which kind of gives me Final Fantasy X vibes. I won't go into why, but that's what I think about it.
What did you say?
Sissy talking in code. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of reminiscent of Final Fantasy X for me, because there is a species that talks.
You're based,
differently,
buddy.
and so-
Really based.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about then?
Yes, I do. Love Final Fantasy X.
I don't remember what they're called.
He's like, oh, thank
though.
God.
What is the... Why do I not remember? I finished it, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too, but
I'll find out later. So obviously, Sissy has to go to the hospital because there's something wrong with her. She could have a stroke. She could probably have a concussion. Like something happened with her. So she goes to the hospital. Which, by the way, when they were at the hospital, there's a nurse taking care of her. We haven't mentioned her. I don't think
I
no
was
one's
going
mentioned
to,
her.
but I'm last.
What?
But you go ahead. I was
You
going
should
to,
change
but
your
I'm
username
last.
then.
But you could go ahead.
You
Yeah,
should change your
this-
username then. That was funny.
You know what? I did forget to mention about like the whole scare with like Sissy, like that whole scene with Delmas
Yeah,
and
it's a good scene.
freaking out over Sissy.
Like he was pretty calm. Sorry.
He was worried. No, he was calm, but he was
No,
just,
yeah.
you could tell.
No, yeah,
like,
for sure.
He's like, what's wrong with her? And they're like, we don't know. And like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that classic like genuine horror.
No, yeah. It was like in a calm.
Stuff.
That's why I said it was like in a calmer way. Like he was like it was more sad because of it. Like that it was kind of calm, and then like you just see the expressions on his face after he was told that they don't know what it is, and then he was like, all right, well, just please let me know anything as soon as possible.
It's definitely a plot point that you could easily say elevates the episode in quality, deserves a rating increase for those of you
Oh,
who didn't
absolutely
give it
not.
an A.
Definitely.
No.
You'll come around.
So far.
Whether or not you do so with a pointy object being twisted.
Definitely,
in a
I've definitely felt that in that scene though. It
location.
was pretty sad. It'd be more intense if he was like crying, but it just fit. It just kind of worked. Man, where were we?
Where was I?
We were side
Yes,
notes.
where was
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about the nurse woman, which for some reason every time I look at her, she reminds me of that woman from The Ring who comes out of the television. I haven't seen The Ring, so I wouldn't. I don't know where her name is, but she just reminds me of her every time I see her. That's horrifying. But anyways, so Xana is using Sissy because he activated the tower, which once again brought up the fact that by Vigor who brought up the fact. The Albed, that's who they are. The Albed, yes. Thank you, Vigor. I appreciate you. He also brought up the fact that where is that quote at? Is that France? Is that yeah? It is weird how France Hopper, like in the very next episode, is trying to communicate with the Ryoko Warriors right after the fact that the fake France Hopper shows up. Which you hear people complain about like the final episodes of Koyoko. Oh, they were rushed. Well, maybe you want to throw this in too, I guess, or just put the episodes in a different order, But anyway, so Xander's trying to take down the tower, which we see in future episodes too, with the Skip Near on a tower as like a docking station, and Xander tries to destroy the tower as well. So that's pretty cool to see that in season 2. So obviously Xander's trying to get rid of Sissy so that they can't so France Hopper can't communicate. Like Xander's like, oh, you're gonna use this woman to communicate? Well, I'll just get rid of her then. How about that? You can't deactivate an every tower and just take over somebody else. That's my thing.
Not in my turn. Timely France, but
anything you can do, I can do better, right?
Yeah.
So so it's interesting seeing Sissy being protected, another damsel in distress, if you will. We just need another one of those. So they all arrive on Ryoko and they help out. That woman is still chasing after the nurse is still chasing after them, and eventually they win. And the whole Return to the Past thing making Xana stronger, like, I don't blame them for trying to come up with a reason as to stop doing Return to the Past all the time. Like, hey, let's give it a reason as to, let's put some war behind it. Let's give them a reason as to why they shouldn't Return to the Past all the time. It might cut out some of our budget that we don't have to animate that,
I mean, they reuse the same scene though.
Well, yeah, but like we don't have, we don't have to do that anymore. That was hurting my wrist. But anyways, but in reality, is that like even though they came up with this idea, like okay, so Xana gets stronger by using the Return to the Past. Well, sometimes when they need to do a Return to the Past, they don't, and that pisses me off. And that just proves that this show is not perfect, as I wanted. As much as I think it's perfect, no, it's not. And this is this is one of those reasons why.
I mean, you have it is true because just side note, like they have an ambulance just literally just driving recklessly through the streets and then crashes into the pretty much crashes in the factory with a nurse that's being possessed. So yeah, I think that one was like out of other ones like that are like they don't need a Return to the Past. Yeah, like. It's a
miracle that woman didn't lose her job over this.
Right, yeah.
Or what?
She's like she was in charge of that patient being Sissy, and Yeah, that they just had I don't know what they did with the car, but they definitely dragged her back before she was conscious.
This feels like one of the
Like
episodes
how?
where they
I don't
did
know.
return to the past, where they actually, where
They didn't show
the
it.
writers wrote it because that in a way that they were going to return to the past, but then like last second someone hopped in, changed like a couple details before the storyboard got made and delivered,
Now that we'll never
and
know.
then like nobody went back and was like, "Well, wait."
What also
could've
confirms
been-
it is the scene with Sissy in the dorm, in Jeremy's dorm, or whoever's dorm, Oz and Oryx. Because they were talking about the next movie. So.
It could have been a timing thing as well. I mean, for returns, even though you do have to, even though it is just the doing the time bubble and everything, you do have to do a little bit of setup after return to the past. So it could have just been a timing thing. Like
Are you
if
saying-
we're going into theories as to
As they did?
no, if we're going into theories as to why they didn't do a return to the past, like from a production standpoint, it could have been a timing thing because
Could be, yeah.
returns at least do take a little bit of time to set up, and yeah.
It's the same. It would still be, because they had that recycled footage of Return to the Past, but then again, they just kind of they kind of edit the scene they used before the Return to the Past to like kind of end it in the episode with new dialogue or whatever. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Still, but I mean like from a timing standpoint, as in you only have 23 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would, if they did do the Return to the Past, that would be an extra minute or two.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of seconds for the return itself. What's it? At least a little bit of time to set up the return, because that is a thing that they do when they return to the past.
Yeah.
And so it could have been that if we do believe that there was a return to this episode. But anyway.
Yeah. Colton, you can...
That seems like such a stretch. Like, I think I want to go with my theory that they just forgot or they didn't care.
I don't know. There's we already had a couple episodes where, like, especially with Jim, like there's instances where like, oh well, Jim's gonna remember that. They didn't go back to the past for that one. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit more sus though, but yeah.
If I was Ulrich, I'd be livid because he realizes, wait a minute, so we don't return to the past, to get Sissy back in the hospital, but I can't return to the past.
Yes, no, that's correct. You can't.
To help Yumi stay in France and help us out. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. That's too bad.
Yes, I'm glad you understand how things work, Ulrich. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this show is just... And people say like the foreheads are like the biggest problem about this show. How about you watch the show and tell me what the bigger problem is?
The bigger.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that all? Or you had more to say?
I might have something else to say, but I don't really know. I think the Catholic news was mentioned for the first time in this episode.
Is it?
I don't remember that being mentioned.
What? No, Catholic News is mentioned in season 1.
Okay. Well, thank you, Koyuko FR, for saying something. Oh, you got something. It's Wikipedia out here.
Well, it definitely was mentioned before this episode, but I don't remember it being mentioned in that episode.
The first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Literally in Teddy Godzilla.
Rip.
Oh.
Well, I definitely don't remember it being mentioned in the context. I just watched it today, but yeah.
To be fair,
what? Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe this is the first time it has been referred to as Caddick News, but even then I doubt it. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm just, like I said, it is literally the first, like...
You said that already.
No, I agree.
You said that already. We know that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And no one's saying
and
it's
I
not.
do agree with you. I'm just, yeah.
The question was
I'm
really...
just saying maybe.
Well, no, actually, no, never mind. Okay. Anyways,
Oh, you know what? I'm glad Koyoko FR exists because it does explain that in episode 25, Xander tried to destroy the tower that Iwea was being materialized in as well, which I didn't remember until now.
mm,
So it's not the first time. So
mhm.
Xan, so I have a question. How many life points does a tower have?
I think it's like
Don't worry
10,000.
about it.
Don't worry about these are the questions I will ask. Because what
Sophie,
else am I
Sophie would
supposed to
say the same
ask
thing.
about?
If I recall correctly, it's about 10,000 life.
Okay.
I already know why the foreheads are huge. I have to ask different questions. Questions.
Yeah, I feel like Sophie
mean,
would
we-
answer
we're-
with "Don't worry about it" as well.
He's not the guy. I am.
I'm not-
We all know you're not the guy. It's. Oh my
Actually,
God.
no.
Okay. What?
Go ahead. Okay. What's it? In regards to the "he's not the guy I am" meme, what's it? That is Franz Hopper through Sissy's body to Xana Franz Hopper the last episode.
God.
Oh.
Let me show you this fun fact right here. Record beaten by a crab who took out 80 of odds white points in one impact. Who the fuck cares? White points don't matter. Why
Yeah,
are
they're
you calling
not
me-
consistent.
Life points.
Some
They
people
don't.
care.
Yeah.
Some do.
But some people.
That's obviously obviously true. Some people care, but like the life, but also the life points just don't
I'm,
really
glad, I'm
matter.
glad people are keeping stats about
Yeah,
these
there's stats
episodes.
everywhere.
Because don't
Yeah.
allow me to keep stats of it because I'll get confused right at the very first episode.
And they're interesting for sure, but
Hmm.
Actually, I do want to show off.
okay.
I do want to show off the. Because I know that Sissy was talking in code, and Jeremy wrote something, or no, sorry, Brent Hopper wrote something down. I wanted to show that off if I could find the image of
season
it.
4.
No, like in this episode.
Oh,
Sissy,
that.
writes
Yeah,
down
yeah.
what she's trying to say,
Yes.
and for some reason the image is not here
You can look in the
in
episode.
images.
It's in the,
Is
can
it really
quickly-
not here?
well, what about it though? We need to move on.
Well, I thought it was weird because it's all jumbled up mess, and so I'm
Yeah.
like,
It was just
because
too much like
obviously Sissy's
wingdings.
talking. Well, because Sissy's talking backwards, so like, wouldn't that mean that Franz Hopper would just need to write backwards?
He doesn't.
Some, I
Reversing,
guess
He doesn't know how.
reversing
doesn't know
the
how.
dialogue like that is just a very good editor shorthand for
Exactly.
weird alien speech, but it's also a good way to hide. Normally, it's a good way to hide Easter eggs. Here, it was literally the message Franz Hopper was trying to say, but they just reversed it.
Yeah, I think Jeremy gave up on that paper because he didn't even. He just reversed the audio that Sissy was talking.
The funny thing is, though, the actual translate, like, once Jeremy decodes it, it's not a reverse cipher, so, like, they reversed it just to make it sound alien and foreign and not a human trying to deliver a message.
Mm-hmm.
But the decoded version isn't simply just reversing the cipher / speech, which I think is pretty funny.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Yeah, it's Jersey Force basically saying I am Franz Hopper backwards.
Over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah, over and over again. We're just gonna use that same voice clip. Just keep saying it.
Yeah. And different tones though too, which is funnier.
I think I'm done, except for the fact that I'm glad that Rick from Rick and Morty shows up in this episode.
What do you say?
Yes.
Rick from Rick and Morty shows up in this episode.
Oh yes, he does. And yes.
Yes, that's great.
Yes, French Rick.
French Rick. Look, Morty, I'm French Rick. All right. I do
God.
have another thing
Oh.
to say, but I will save it for after Wazy shares.
Flower's absolutely right about this episode. What's it? It's top tier, genuinely. Yes, it does have the unfortunate. Sorry,
No, I was just saying.
did I cut out?
No.
Or
No.
oh, okay. No, I was worried. Okay. Yes, it does have the unfortunate
Oh, now you cut out.
Dang.
the
You
high
predicted
quality
it.
Now you
episode,
cut out
but I
there.
still think that. Damn it.
Say it
Okay.
again.
Yes, it has the unfortunate. It does have the unfortunate side effect of being caught between several high quality episodes, but it itself is still very high quality in terms of like what it's trying to do, what it's trying to deliver. It's a very solid. Is great at what it does. I think there's also what's it? Not only a level of intrigue when it comes to Sissy and everything going on throughout this episode, but I think I don't want to say horror because that's not quite right, but I think a lot of what is happening with Sissy kind of leans into I guess those sort of yeah, very very light horror vibes that the show has kind of leaned into in regards to its content and it reminds you of movies like God. I'm bad at horror movies. I want to say Poltergeist, but I feel that's wrong. But like possession movies,
Yeah.
possession movies, and like dealing with like this weird, creepy sort of sort of speaking in tongues sort
Oh, lost you again.
of thing. Really, and I feel like sorry, oh God, possession movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, possession movies. It leans into that vibe like really, really well in terms of like this person is possessed by some weird otherworldly sort of deity, and that's really, really cool. It gives that vibes for Sissy, and I think that leans into the tone and general build up of this episode really, really well. Um, and of course, just the general premise of Franz Hopper is trying to reach out into the Lyoko Warriors. This brings up a very unique premise that Code Lyoko generally doesn't do because of the fact that it's rare for us to see somebody else play around with the towers, and it is a one-time occasion for Franz Hopper to be the person to play around with the towers, and not Jeremy, not Xana, not somebody else, but Franz Hopper. And I think that it's cool that it materialized in this sort of way, pun unintended. But anyway, oh God. Other things to say about this episode as well is that Yeah, Ulrich being a Chad and messing around with the mega tanks. That's fun. That's cool. I love as well. When Xana takes control of the tower and when Xana takes control of the tower and possesses the nurse, I also think that's really cool. And again, I'm not even a fan of horror, but when Code Lyoko leans into its more horror elements, I really, really like that.
That's why I like Plague.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's fair.
Hello?
Did he cut off again?
Maybe. Lazy. Just give it some time.
Damn.
No, he's probably talking right now.
I think
There he is. Hey,
taking over. God.
Yeah, we lost you there for like 10 seconds. And he's gone.
Damn.
Xana. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Now we can.
I think.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we
Fuck.
could. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
I'm sorry about that. Xana taking over the nurse and just and just attacking Sissy, I think is just really different because a lot of the time we see Xana, Sorry.
No, I was agreeing. I was like, oh yeah. definitely.
Oh, okay.
Pretty crazy.
Okay. Yeah, no. What's it? Because a lot of the time we see Xana attacking the Lyoko warriors or attacking a large group of people, but like Sissy is pretty much a completely innocent bystander who was just dragged into this because Franz Hopper happened to possess her. And like she's just a kid just being attacked by a medical worker at that who is also possessed. It's just I think it's really cool and really scary stuff. Like God,
What she remembers, by the way.
I think it's really cool and like scary in regards to the context of the episode. And yes, exactly. Well, maybe we don't. I feel like she doesn't. It doesn't matter. But oh god. And yeah, everything else that could possibly be mentioned about the positives of this episode have pretty much been covered by Flower. But yeah, I think Contact is a top tier episode. S.
Insane. So yeah, what was? Oh, I don't think it was brought up yet, but I think it was kind of since this is after Franz Hopper. I have to point out that it's very silly that they had absolutely zero idea of thinking that it was Franz Hopper trying to get in contact with them. Because who else would try to get in contact with you? That doesn't make sense to me. I just thought that was silly. Not even in one mention. No one thinks of Franz Hopper being like an option.
I think this is just so out of left field for them. Like the idea that there's another entity within Lyoko that can do something like this is just like it's not in their like consciousness that that's a thing that could happen.
Definitely. I mean, France being the creator of everything and him being stuck in Lyoko, come on. At least Jeremy saying like maybe it's Franz Hopper, but like not even a name drop. It just kind of upsets me.
They knew Franz Hopper existed. They didn't know he was still around.
But didn't they say that he's somewhere trapped in Lyoko though? Wasn't that said?
I think that's in Revelations.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Yeah, that was what Xana told them beforehand. And they have no reason to believe otherwise. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. It's just, especially after Franz Hopper, it's like, I don't know who else they thought who else would be trying to contact them. Like, I just can't think of anything. Just thought that was a little annoying. But besides that, I think it's funny though also that, after Xana's big attack, Xana's just sleeping. He wakes up and sees Franz Hopper with the activated tower, and like, what the fuck? This is what I wake up to? Okay, hold up. I gotta come over. I get choked the hell out of this person that's possessing. I just think that was a pretty funny thought. I think but that is like, and I've already said what I said earlier before Jay, but and I do agree with everything that's said here, but I just can't. It does not bring me to rank it an S. Like, definitely well put together episode. It's did its job well. It succeeded at what it was trying to do, but it doesn't stand up there with the other episodes. I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna keep it at a B, to be honest. So.
I get it.
I thought about A, but I don't know. Maybe A minus, but I'm gonna give it a B. It's not a bad episode. It's just not up there for me. It's just like, no hate though. Just not that much love. I guess. Hate. I know. Like, B's not bad. I mean, look at all these other episodes in B. Like, those are good episodes. It doesn't stand up there for me.
I can't see.
Definitely
What
wouldn't.
about me when I said B for Franz Hopper? You didn't bring
I meant to say. Damn it! I missed my chance. I meant to say I'm gonna pull a Colton and say B. But oh well. What was I gonna say? Man, I had a thought and it's gone. All right, Dylan, what's your final rank?
I'll give it an S minus, just to drag the rating up a little bit.
Okay, that's just cheating.
Well, I did say it's either an A plus or like
Okay.
just barely an S minus.
All right,
So
fine.
I'm not like being dishonest to what I said earlier.
Okay. J-Man.
Oh, me? Yeah, it's still at a B rank for me. Yeah, I'll still say that.
Flower, S, right?
S, yeah.
And then Colton.
A.
All right, this is a weird one.
And that's
I
third.
think the average
think-
lands it in A.
A. Yeah.
I think the average here lands it in A.
Yeah, 3 S's, 2 B's, and an A. So that I feel like that's where is that A minus?
Mid.
Yeah, it
I'd
can't be
say
more
that's
than.
around mid A. It's not high A, but
Let me
it's
get-
mid.
Rid of this first.
Well, let's put it this way: the two of the S's and 2 of the B's cancel into 2 A's, and then essentially we have 3 A's and an S. Or no, we have 2 A's and an S. No,
I
yeah, we have
voted
2
S
A's.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 S's, 2 B's, 1 A.
Yeah,
So-
so if you take the 2 B's and 2 of the 3 S's and you combine them, you get 2 A's. So now we have 1 S and 3 A's. So the net
I
effect
don't know.
is
It's a weird.
like a little bit above just a flat 95 like A score, in a sense.
It's definitely
Or
somewhere
like
in
at a
A.
96.
It's definitely not A
So
plus
like
though.
just before an A plus, but not
Yeah,
quite.
it's definitely not A plus, but it's definitely in the A somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
We know
it's-
that the people who want
it's
it.
mid A.
Yeah, so we know the people who want it to be all the way to the top of A. Can't be A. That can't be that. So J-Man and Colton, where do you think Contact should go in the A rank?
One sec, let me just refresh the stream real quick.
I'll put it in front of. Currently, I have it in front of Temptation. Right, if you can. I can't see my mouse. Oops.
I think if I had,
Oh, you
if
can't
I
see
had
my
to
mouse,
put
it's
it
right here.
I'm gonna be
somewhere-
honest. I would put it all the way in the back.
No,
All
I
the way
agree.
in the back.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think I,
mean,
would
I agree.
put it just before Ultimatum, personally.
In front
I
of
think
Wait,
after
are you in
Ultimatum.
front of Ultimatum?
But behind, so
Okay,
between
okay.
47 and 38.
That's where I have it right now. What were you gonna
Yeah.
say, Colton?
So where you have it right now is where I would put it.
Colton.
I think after Ultimatum, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't. Okay, so where it's at right now, right?
Look,
Where
you
my
can't
mouse is?
top
41.
Destinator, guys. You can't top those Destinator.
Do you see my mouse? Are you on the stream?
Colton.
Yes.
So where it's at right now, right?
Well, which episode's Ultimatum? 41, right?
41 with
Yeah.
Yeah, after that.
Okay. Because sometimes I get confused when people say before and after. I'm like,
I get confused when people say weathers,
Now,
ABS,
like-
tier ranks.
Sometimes it's weird when you have when you rank an episode and it doesn't go to the certain rank you want it, and then you look at the other episodes that it's next to, then you're like having to question it again. It happened to Flower and I last week in stream, but it's like, man, do I want to? I ranked it higher, but do I want it lower or higher than these episodes in this rank?
Well, this is the thing: is we're not ranking it by ourselves.
I know,
We're
but I'm
having
just saying
to
it's just something.
compare it against how other
Yeah.
people are ranking.
No,
So,
I
like-
know, but that happens though. When that you get that feeling, it's like you're looking at
Like
everything
for
else.
me, this would be easy because Ultimatum would have been an S tier
I
with
know,
common
I know.
interest.
I know, that's
below
why-
those two, but above
and-
Mr. Puck. But because we are collectively rating this, and Mr. Puck, common interest, and Ultimatum are all A tiers, now we have to pin.
Exactly.
I have
That's
to pin it against where I would put those, not
There's
where.
there's also uncharted
God, bro.
territory.
yeah. Um. Brain fart. I think it's funny that common interest is. I mean, what did you rank Ultimatum, Wazy? Did you say S?
I said S.
Okay, so higher than common interest. Did you also rank that S though?
Yeah.
Common interest?
I believe so. S or A. It
Let's see,
was one of the
37.
two. I think it might have been S.
36.
You gave it an S, Wazy. I remember. I was there.
Yeah.
Why did I skip 37?
Season 2 just has a lot of really good episodes.
You know,
Yeah, it does.
that-
we haven't had a single D.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
We haven't had a
exactly.
single D.
Well,
I think
honestly, it
what,
should have been.
had like 3 Ds in season 1.
I mean, I
Yeah.
did I ever pick? I don't know if I ever rate. I think. I don't know. There's.
I
oh,
think-
I mean, I know a couple
there's.
of you.
What is this
scored
episode? Oh, I
Scored
don't
one
know.
or 2 episodes.
That's
I
not labeled.
I might have given Xana's Kiss a D, if I remember correctly.
Xana's Kiss.
Though I
a
don't
D?
know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I know I probably.
It was weird.
I think I rated. What do you call it? The chips are down. I think a C. I don't remember. I definitely didn't rate it a D, which that was my plan though. But Fine Mess that's crazy that it's B on the bottom of B though to me. That's just crazy, guys. What's wrong with you all? But yeah, but that's
It's group.
yeah. So that's why that was the point when I made when I'm like having to I want it ranked higher and then we have to go with a different rank and then I'm looking at these episodes that are ranked here. I'm like, but I like these certain episodes more because I'm pretty sure I've rated those higher. So it's just that's why the whole idea of this idea of a top tier list was interesting just because everyone's different opinions and trying to be on the same page. So that was the challenge.
Yep.
So,
It's fun.
so yeah, Contact will be around the mid A. It will be. I know Jay said he wanted at the bottom of A, which I agree. It will be right between Ultimatum and Temptation. Which is
I
not a
can
bad
live
spot.
with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. This episode is definitely above Temptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That I agree on. Look at that.
Well.
About definitely more than 10 minutes, guys. Good job. Definitely,
Yeah,
it was
that was a
about
long 10 minutes.
it was around 30-ish minutes.
It was an hour and 10 minutes to be exact.
No, not for.
I
not
think
for
it was
Contact.
hour 20.
What?
We started this. We started
It was like
discussing
6
this
it was
one
like-
at 7, but we got sidetracked right away. So if we want to be super
It was a little after. It was
technical-
a little after that. It was like 7:20ish. I thought.
No.
I thought
We
it was like 53.
finished- We
No,
finished
no
the
way.
last episode at 6:50.
This guy. The fact that you
Yeah.
did you write that down?
And then we spent a few minutes being sidetracked. Then we tried to start
oh, let's
this
subtract
episode
that.
at 7:00, but then we got just a little bit in and then got sidetracked right away again, and then we didn't actually start till about 7:05. So technically we're at
That's a-
55 minutes.
Okay.
Or
I'm gonna say there's no way in hell it's
but-
over
An
an hour.
hour.
It's no way over an hour because we're only 10 minutes over our stream time. So it was somewhere it was close to 7:20. Well, I remember talking about it, but
No, it wasn't.
yeah.
But, oh,
Lady and
I
I
can
are
agree with
relatively
I was
in
trying to I was looking at that clock when we started talking about Contact because I was gonna keep track on it. I was like, all right, what time is it? We're starting Contact now. It wasn't before the hour. It
ended
wasn't
the
before 7.
discussion-
There's no way. I know that for
we
sure.
ended the discussion of France Hopper at around
After-
7:50, like Dylan said. I said 53. He said 50, so somewhere around there. And then we tried to start up Contact, like he said. Yeah.
Well, if we talked about some other stuff before we actually started on Contact, that obviously doesn't count. I mean, I don't care.
Well,
I'm
no,
just
but
saying.
the thing
About
is,
an hour.
Okay.
Well, like I said, we got sidetracked at first, and I wouldn't really consider that starting.
Yeah.
But then we
Yeah.
we did get started, and then got sidetracked and blew another 5 or
Man.
so minutes.
What are we talking about then? Because I
So,
don't remember being sidetracked.
If
that
you
much.
want to be super technical, Cam, we didn't start till about 7:05. But
I mean, it's fine. I really don't care.
7:20 is still way too late for when
Yeah,
we started that.
Now, because now that if we got sidetracked twice, now I'm curious what that was about because I don't remember.
Just watch the stream again. I'm not remembering.
No, I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying, like, it making it sound like we were sidetracked so many times. I mean, it happens, but I just like it had to been about Lyoko at least, but
yeah.
Because I usually remember some of these tangents, and I'm like, and I talk about it after stream. I'm like, okay, but yeah, this was a really good stream. It was a definitely a fun one. It was very good.
Man, I wish we do Revelation, but oh well.
Next weekend. Yeah, will be an interesting day. Revelation and the Key.
Can't wait to give both of those episodes the D's they deserve.
Pause.
You mean F's?
Exactly.
Because this show is so trash.
Exactly. F for failure. Like
yes,
that's what the Lyoko Warriors do in the Key. So I think it's fitting.
Like what Colton posted though, because I thought about this. Wait a minute. I think this is part 6. Wait.
What?
Oh, right. No, you're right. You're right, Colton. You're right. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking about next weekend. But yes, the season 1 was 2 streams, 2 parts. Season 2, we're about to be at part 7 next weekend. It could have been a little bit. We didn't. The fact that we're doing 2 episodes for 2 streams in a row causes more parts. Oh, actually 3 because of. It's funny that I can never remember the episode I don't really care about. Fucking what is it? Chips are down. All right. So yeah, and then season 3 will probably be like no more than 4 parts.
Yeah, 3
maybe.
or 4.
And season 4 will be like 20. Sadly, I really don't want to think about that with all the trash fillers. I really hope we don't talk about those for long.
I'm telling you,
I
Bad
swear to
Connection
God.
is a top tier episode.
Bad Connection.
And I refuse.
God.
Bad Connection.
Yeah, that's a bad one. It's alright. There's worse ones than that one though.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But the fact that they added, I thought about this earlier in the stream, like when we were talking about the parents, like I thought it was funny. Maybe a thought of the writers were like, oh, we forgot about. We're almost done with the series. Well, I don't know if they knew that they were almost done with the series, but like, oh, we need to show Oz parents. Let's just do it real quick in a filler episode.
I wanted the sisters.
Yeah,
but anyway.
yeah. Oh. Man.
I want Jeremy's mom.
What?
She's dead. Anyway.
Dale.
Not to me.
Did you turn off the stream, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Oh, all right.
I just have it on Discord because. Let's see, anything? Yeah. No D episodes because Samantha doesn't show up. Oh man. Hey, whoa! Now, actually, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth about that. Actually, don't because we'll get to the other one. As for suicide attempts, yeah. Oh man. All right, I think we'll wrap it up here.
Lyoko hurts my brain.
Lyoko hurts your brain. Yeah, it definitely does.
Oh.
I can't wait for next weekend though. That's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So much to talk about. And I can't wait to rewatch those because I'm gonna make sure to watch those too before we start. Especially the Keys, one of my favorites. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks for everyone who was in the stream, in the chats, everyone that joined the PC.
Tower deactivated.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep saying that.
Yeah, that's fine. You keep saying
Thanks
that.
for coming out, everybody.
Wow.